Chapter 2169. Just as Mrs. Zhu was about to teach Madame Qi a lesson again, Madame Qi suddenly hid behind Zhu Daniu and said to Zhu Daniu, "Husband, mother is going to hit someone again. Help me." Zhu Daniu blocked Mrs. Zhu and grabbed Mrs. Zhu's hand. He said sternly, "Mother, can you stop making a fuss? Do you think our family is not chaotic enough? Do you have to lure the villagers here and make fun of our family, Zhu?" Mrs. Zhu was stunned for a moment. Then she wiped her tears and complained, "Daniu, you can't leave your third brother alone. If your third brother is really dead, then I don't want to live either." As old Madame Zhu spoke, she suddenly fell to the ground. Like a scoundrel, she flipped over and over. She looked very sad and hopeless about life. Zhu Daniu watched helplessly from the side. He wanted to comfort Mrs. Zhu, but Mrs. Zhu was deliberately making a fuss because she wanted him to agree to save Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Daniu glanced at the dying Zhu Sanlu on the ground and then glanced at Mrs. Zhu. At this moment his mood was very complicated. He couldn't bear to see his mother and brother like this. But when he thought of the high medical fees, his heart beat a retreat. To put it bluntly, it was all because he didn't have money and the family Zhu had to continue living. He had to plan well because he was the only man in the family who could take responsibility. Zhu Daniu was silent for a moment. Then he said to Mrs. Zhu, "Mother, it's not impossible to save third brother." Mrs. Zhu looked up excitedly. "Daniu, are you willing to save your third brother?" Zhu Daniu took a deep breath and replied to Mrs. Zhu, "Mother, you know that our family doesn't have money. If you want to save third brother, why don't you go to second brother and ask him to take out some money?" Right now, second brother's family was doing pretty well. Taking a few taels of silver wouldn't affect their family at all. We're all blood brothers. Second brother can't just watch as we're unable to continue living, right? After hearing Zhu Daniu's words, Mrs. Zhu fell silent. Asking Zhu Eru for money? How was that possible? If it was before, it would have been fine. But after what happened yesterday, how could he bring himself to ask Zhu Eru for money? If he had listened to Zhu Eru, he wouldn't have caused such a ruckus today. Zhu Eru had reminded him, but he had scolded Eru instead. Now that she was going to ask for money, she might even be ridiculed by Zhu Eru. No. Mrs. Zhu waved her hand and refused. "Mom, why not?" Zhu Daniu asked. "This method won't work." Old Madame Zhu replied weakly. Zhu Daniu said, "Mom, why won't it work? Anyway, I already said that if you want to save third brother, you can only ask second brother for money. Otherwise, don't save him." Before Mrs. Zhu could reply, Mulan and Zhao Yun'er, who were standing in the distance, couldn't remain calm. They directly walked into the family Zhu's courtyard. They originally wanted to leave with the villagers, but when they realized that there was still a show to watch, they stood outside the courtyard and continued to watch the show. Who knew that Zhu Daniu would say something like that? Zhu Daniu didn't care if he didn't save third brother, but he couldn't rely on the second branch. Now he even wanted to ask the second branch for money. Wasn't this a joke? Chapter 2170. Zhu Daniu met Mulan's eyes. Mulan's sharp gaze made him feel a little scared. He didn't expect that Mulan was still outside the courtyard and heard his words, so he was a little embarrassed. "Second sister-in-law, don't be impulsive. Isn't it because third brother's injury is too serious and mother wants to save third brother? You also know that our lives aren't going well now and our family doesn't have any money. If we really want to save third brother, our entire family will probably starve to death. But second sister-in-law, you're different. You've built a big house and you're living a good life. Taking out some money won't affect your current life and you can even save third brother. So what?" Zhu Daniu said matter-of-factly. When Mulan heard this, she sneered and replied to Zhu Daniu, "Eldest brother, it's easy for you to say this. Why can't you save third brother? If you really don't have any money, why don't you sell a moo of farmland and gather some money? Why do you have to reach out and ask our second branch for money? Now that we've separated from the family, our second branch doesn't want to meddle in your affairs. If you want our second branch to take out money to treat third brother, don't be delusional. Yesterday we came over to remind third brother of his improper behavior. In the end, mother didn't believe us and even hurt our Eru's face. Don't tell me you have the nerve to ask our second branch to take out money now? How can there be such a good thing in this world?" After hearing Mulan's words, Zhu Daniu felt even less confident. However, he still stubbornly replied, "Second sister-in-law, how can we be so calculative when we're family? This time, if you don't take out money to save third brother, the villagers might say that you and second brother are too ruthless. You don't care about your own brothers and don't care about brotherhood at all." Mulan knew that Zhu Daniu was only threatening her. However, she wasn't someone who cared about her face and retorted, Others can say whatever they want. However, big brother, third brother did something shameful this time and was beaten up by the villagers. Eru and I didn't take out the money to save him because we felt that it was good that he was punished. This kind of immoral person should be dealt with properly. Perhaps the people in the village would praise me and Eru for not saving him, so that third brother wouldn't come out to harm people again. Our family Zhu is already embarrassing enough. If you want to make a fool of yourself, go ahead. I don't care. As soon as Mulan finished speaking, Zhu Dainyu didn't know how to respond. What Mulan said was indeed reasonable. If the second branch really didn't pay for Zhu Sanlu's treatment, they might even be praised by the villagers. Seeing that Zhu Dainyu was speechless, Mulan curled her lips and said to Mrs. Zhu, "Mother, doesn't third brother also have a few mu of land in his hands? Why do you have to beg big brother to treat third brother's injury? Directly sell third brother's 1 mu of land. Not only will you have money to treat third brother's injury, but you can also buy some good things for third brother to nourish his body. You can't delay any longer. Otherwise, if third brother drags on, he might really lose his life." After hearing Mulan's words, Mrs. Zhu felt that it was very reasonable. Gritting her teeth, she said, "Yes, Sanlu has a few mu of land in his hands. We have to treat his injury. Otherwise we'll sell 1 mu of land." Zhu Dainyu frowned and was very unwilling. "Mother, we don't have enough food in our family's fields. If we sell another mu of land, the harvest will be even smaller. How will we survive?" Chapter 2171. That's a problem for the future. Anyway, I have to save your younger brother now. If your younger brother dies, I can't live either. It's meaningless to think about it now. After old Madame Zhu finished speaking, she hugged Zhu Sanlu with a firm look. Zhu Dainyu was displeased. He knew very well that since it was Mrs. Zhu's decision, he couldn't change it. If he insisted on not selling the land, Mrs. Zhu would make more trouble. However, if he were to sell the land, he would feel uncomfortable and unwilling. "Mom, if you really insist on selling the land to treat my younger brother's illness, I have no objection. After all, it's my younger brother's land. I can't monopolize it. But there's one thing that I have to make clear. After my younger brother sells the land, he will have less land in his hands. You and my younger brother will live together with me. It's like I'm supporting this family alone." Mrs. Zhu frowned for a second. She seemed to know what Zhu Dainyu was going to say. "Boss, what do you mean by this?" "Mom, I want to separate from my younger brother. Our eldest branch will live separately from my younger brother in the future. My younger brother can do whatever he wants. It has nothing to do with our eldest branch anyway. Even if he sells all the land, I won't care anymore." After Zhu Dainyu finished his words, Mrs. Zhu couldn't stay calm. She stared at Zhu Dainyu and said in a trembling voice, "Dainyu, if you separate from the family now, won't you drive your younger brother to death? He's too weak to stand a gust of wind. What can he do? Even if he has land in his hands, he can't do the work in the land." Mrs. Chi immediately jumped out and said, "Mom, you're wrong. You want to take advantage of our eldest branch. My younger brother is in such a poor condition. Do you want Dainyu to take care of him for the rest of his life? Dainyu isn't third brother's father. We already said that blood brothers should settle accounts clearly. Our first branch can't possibly suffer such a big loss, right?" Zhu Dainyu said in a deep voice, "Mother, third younger brother is not young anymore. He is not a child anymore. He can't always hide under my wings. Second younger brother has already separated. It's time for our first branch to separate from third younger brother. However, Mother, it's not like I won't support you in the future. It's just that the first branch's things will be separated from the third branch's things. If third brother really can't survive in the future, he can't blame me." Zhu Dainyu's words were very resolute. From his tone, it seemed that he was determined to separate from the family. If he brought it up now, it would be a good opportunity. If he brought it up in the future, it would not be so easy. "No, we can't split up. Boss, don't make a fuss. You are brothers. You can't just watch your third brother die, right?" Mrs. Zhu cried and begged Zhu Dainyu. Zhu Dainyu was speechless. This made him seem like a heartless person. Obviously, he was the one who would suffer losses if they didn't separate from the family. His mother only cared about third younger brother and didn't care about how he would live in the future. "Mother, don't say any more. We must separate from the family today." Zhu Dainyu sighed and said with determination. Mrs. Chi also agreed, "Yes, we must separate from the family. What if third younger brother does such an unforgivable thing again in the future? What if third younger brother brings trouble to our first branch? How many acres of land can we afford to lose in the future? Besides, we will be laughed at because of him. We can't afford to lose face." Chapter 2172. During this period of living with Mrs. Zhu, she had to let her do all the chores. Mrs. Zhu used her identity as Mrs. Zhu's mother-in-law to order her around. If she hadn't done something wrong before and lost Zhu Danyu's trust, without Zhu Danyu's favoritism, it would be difficult for Mrs. Zhu, an old woman, to be arrogant. Moreover, the family Zhu's money was also handed over to Mrs. Zhu for safekeeping. If they separated from the family, the money would naturally fall on her again. Without Mrs. Zhu to manage it in the future, it would be so comfortable. Mrs. Zhu cried and shouted, "No, you two are too cruel. How can you treat your third younger brother like this?" Mrs. Qi put her hands on her waist and raised her chin. "Mother, you can't say that. We didn't do anything wrong. If you think we're cruel, you can go to the village and ask whether we did anything wrong." Now that Zhu Sanlu had become the most hated existence in the village, it was strange that someone would side with Zhu Sanlu and speak up for him. Mrs. Zhu suddenly had no choice but to cry even louder. She really didn't know what to say. She secretly cursed Zhu Danyu and Mrs. Qi several times in her heart, but she still couldn't change Zhu Danyu's decision to separate from the family. Zhu Danyu sighed deeply. "Mother, don't cry and shout. Third younger brother should work hard in the future. It's not like he can't live anymore. I'll send him to his room now. Then I'll see Dr. Sunday. In the future, our first branch and the third branch will part on good terms." Mrs. Zhu was dumbfounded. She would do whatever Zhu Danyu said. Thinking that Zhu Sanlu couldn't live alone in the future, Mrs. Zhu cried even more sadly. Zhu Danyu could only ignore Mrs. Zhu. No matter what, he couldn't be soft-hearted this time. Once he was soft-hearted, he would be the one who was unlucky and pitiful in the future. Mulan and Zhao Yun'er witnessed this lively scene, and the two of them walked back in a good mood. Now that Zhu Sanlu had been beaten up like this and had lost half his life, his days were already not good. Who would have thought that Zhu Danyu would suddenly propose to split the family assets? He was afraid that his life would be even more difficult in the future. However, no matter how pitiful Zhu Sanlu was, he deserved it. They had no sympathy for Zhu Sanlu. On the way back, Mulan and Zhao Yun'er talked and laughed. Mulan was not in a good mood. "Yun'er, it's said that good will be rewarded with good, and evil will be repaid with evil. It's not that there's no retribution, it's just that it's not time yet. I didn't expect my third brother's retribution to come so soon." Zhao Yun'er also laughed a few times. "Of course, such a disgusting person will be dealt with by the heavens sooner or later. Haha, looking at my mother's distressed expression, I also feel happy. My mother spoiled my son. My third brother became like this because my mother spoiled him. Otherwise, if she had taught him a good lesson, such a thing would not have happened." Zhao Yun'er nodded and replied, "Of course they were born from the same mother. I think second brother who is more than 1,000 times better than your third brother. My husband was not favored since he was young." Mulan sighed helplessly. Thinking about it, it was a good thing that he was not favored. At least he was more sensible and knew how to care for others. As the two of them talked, they had already returned to the front of the two families' houses. They had gone out early in the morning to watch the commotion, and by the time they came back they had already wasted a lot of time. At this time, everyone in the family was up. There was a faint smoke in the kitchen of Zhao Yun'er's house at this time. Liang Jinxiao was probably cooking. In the courtyard of Mulan's house, Mu Hin had also come out of the kitchen. Chapter 2173. Looking at Mu Hin's sweaty face, Zhao Tianan was very distressed. He took out a handkerchief and handed it to Mu Hin and said softly to Mu Hin, "Come on, wipe your sweat." Looking at the handkerchief that Zhao Tianan handed over, Mu Hin was slightly stunned. "This handkerchief, take it and wipe it? Do you want me to wipe it for you?" Zhao Tianan grinned, revealing a row of big white teeth, which was very charming. Mu Hin hurriedly shook his head. "No, I can do it myself." Saying that, Mu Hin took the handkerchief from Zhao Tianan's hand and wiped the sweat on his face. After wiping the sweat, Mu Hin stared at the handkerchief in his hand for a long time. Zhao Tianan asked with concern, "Xin, what's wrong? Do you like this handkerchief? If you like it, then I'll give it to you." Mu Hin suddenly stuffed the handkerchief into Zhao Tianan's hand and said in a low voice, "I don't want your handkerchief. Xin, you'll be my wife in the future. When we're together, there's no need to divide between you and me. If you like this handkerchief, just take it. You don't have to be polite with me." Zhao Tianan thought that Mu Hin was shy, so he didn't take the handkerchief that he handed over. Mu Hin blushed slightly. "Who's your wife?" "We're not married yet. Anyway, we'll be married soon. You'll be my wife," Zhao Tianan said. It was the first time that he had spoken so shamelessly. However, when he saw that Mu Hin's face was not very good, the smile on the corners of his mouth suddenly froze. "What's wrong with you? Did I say something wrong? Are you unhappy?" Zhao Tianan asked cautiously. Mu Hin shook his head. "Nothing." How could Zhao Tianan believe Mu Hin's words? "I know you must be angry. Can you tell me what I said or did wrong? Don't keep quiet. If there's anything, let's communicate properly. Don't leave any misunderstandings." Mu Hin took a deep breath and agreed with what Zhao Tianan said. If there was anything between two people, they had to communicate properly. Otherwise, if they were together, it would cause a big misunderstanding which would affect the relationship between the two people. "Tianan, you're a boy. Where did you get such a beautiful handkerchief? You're even carrying it in your pocket. Did the girl make it for you?" Mu Hin asked with a hint of grievance. Zhao Tianan glanced at the handkerchief in his hand and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Xinxin, you misunderstood. It wasn't given to me by a girl. It was given to me by my second elder sister." Hearing Zhao Tianan say that it was given to him by Zhao Yuner, Mu Hin showed a touch of embarrassment. She had thought that another girl was in a relationship with Zhao Tianan. It turned out that she was jealous of the wrong person. This was naturally very embarrassing. "Your second elder sister gave it to you?" Yes. She not only gave it to me but also to other people in my family." Mu Hin's face became redder. He lowered his head and said with embarrassment, "I've wronged you." Zhao Tianan smiled and shook his head. "It's okay. Now we can explain it clearly." Zhao Tianan was not angry at all at this time. Instead, he was very happy. Mu Hin was angry because she thought that the handkerchief was given to him by another girl. At least, it meant that he was in Mu Hin's heart. Otherwise, it was impossible for a person to be jealous. "Yes." Mu Hin answered with embarrassment. Chapter 2174. Mulan and Zhao Yun are watched from the side. It was like a scene of two young people falling in love. Mulan couldn't help but feel a little envious. Unlike her and Zhu Eru, who were introduced by a matchmaker, the two families felt that they were suitable for each other. Although Zhu Eru was good and she liked Zhu Eru very much now, but she still hoped that the relationship between Zhao Tianan and Mu Hin would be like that. The feeling of two people who loved each other and then rushed to the hall of marriage after spending some time together was completely different from the feeling of getting married directly. Because once they got married, it meant that they would have children. And after giving birth, a woman's focus was her family and children. It was impossible for her to be like Mu Hin and Zhao Tianan, who could play together happily without caring about anything else. Unfortunately, she couldn't have another chance in life, so she could only envy others. Zhao Yuner looked at Zhao Tianan and Mu Hin together. Both of them had happy smiles on their faces, so she said to Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, I think the two of them have a good relationship. Why don't we wait until we're done with the farm work and prepare for our wedding?" Isn't it a little early?" It's not early. I think my little brother Tian can't wait to marry Mu Xen into his family. If it weren't for the fact that both of our families are too busy, I would have arranged the wedding of their two children long ago. Then I'll discuss it with Mu Hin." Mulan smiled. Zhao Yun nodded in response, but she made a joke. "Sister-in-law Mulan, I think you're the one who can't bear to let Mu Hin marry into your family so soon, right?" Mulan also laughed. "Of course I can't bear to part with my sister. A married daughter is like spilled water. In the future she'll be a member of your Zhao family. However, it's a good thing that we're neighbors. Even if Xian marries into your Zhao family, she can still visit us every day. It's very convenient for her to come back and visit us. If our two families are not together, it will be more troublesome to communicate with each other. I am really reluctant to let her marry into our family. At least she can stay at home for a while. After all, she only had this one sister. The people in her family were all good-for-nothings. She didn't want to bother with them. Now he only hoped that his only sister could live a good life. Fortunately, God was fair and helped Mu Hin find such a good marriage. Being in-laws with Zhao Yuner was probably a blessing that many people could not hope for. Zhao Yuner understood how Mulan felt. She held her hand and assured her, "Don't worry, sister-in-law Mulan. Mu Hin is definitely the best choice for Tianan. Not only will you be here, but you and your sister will take care of each other. Moreover, my family and Tianan will definitely not let Mu Hin down. We'll definitely treat her well. Yuner, I believe in you. You're good people to begin with." Zhao Yuner's smile deepened. When the two of them walked to Mulan's courtyard, Mu Hin greeted Mulan and said, "Sister, you're back. I saw that I've already finished cooking. Come and eat." Zhao Yuner returned to her own home. After breakfast she fed Tian milk and washed the family's clothes. Zhao Yuner was so tired that she was sweating profusely. Fortunately, there were many people at home and there were people to help her with the small matters. Otherwise she would definitely not be able to handle it alone. When it was past 10 in the morning, Jianghu came looking for her. Chapter 2175. Jianghu took a few deep breaths and rested for a few seconds before saying to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner, I have something to trouble you with." Zhao Yuner knew that under normal circumstances, Jianghu would not take the initiative to ask for help. Since she came to ask for help, it must be because she could not do it herself. Zhao Yuner replied politely to this fourth aunt, "Fourth aunt, if you have anything to say, just say it. Don't be polite with me." Jianghu smiled. "Actually, it's not a big deal. It's just that it's not easy for Jing to return home. She just came over. This girl is filial. As soon as she came back, she brought a lot of good things for all of us. Also, Jing brought young Master Jing over. Your grandfather and grandmother mean that you should treat Jing and young Master Jing well in our old Zhao family. But our family's cooking skills are not very good. I'm afraid that young Master Jing won't like it. In the past, young Master Jing has been talking about your cooking skills, so he wants you to cook a few dishes for him. This afternoon, all three families will go over for lunch. It's rare for everyone to get together and have a good meal." After hearing Jianghu's words, Zhao Yuner was silent for a moment. She was wondering what it was, but it turned out that she was asking her to cook. Thinking about it, it was Zhao Jinger's first time returning home after getting married. She could not treat her too shabbily. If she did not treat her well, Zhao Jinger's face would be lost. When Zhao Jinger returned to her in-laws' family, she would have no status at all. For Zhao Jinger's sake, the old Zhao family had to maintain some face. Of course, Zhao Jinger brought good things for everyone when she came back this time, which became a favor to her. Of course, the other families had to treat her well. Wu Chunhua was a powerful old woman. When she saw Zhao Jinger bring back good things this time, she naturally tried her best to curry favor with her. The next time Zhao Jinger returned to her family, she would definitely continue to bring things. Wu Chunhua was very shrewd when it came to people who could benefit from it. She knew how to please them. Chen Jue already knew that Zhao Yuner did not agree, so she sighed and said, "AI, it's true that we can't find anyone else. Otherwise we wouldn't have let Yuner do all the work. Fourth aunt knows that you are very busy every day. It must be very tiring for you to cook in the kitchen on such a hot day. Why don't I go back and make something with your aunt?" Zhao Yuner shook her head and said, "Fourth aunt, let me go. Young Master Zheng usually eats exotic delicacies. Now that he's in old Zhao's house, he might not be used to the food if it's too bad. If he's unhappy, then it won't be so easy for my cousin to return to her parents' home next time." Chen Jue hurriedly replied with a smile, "All right girl, you can go with fourth aunt. We're all doing this for Jing. She's just a concubine after all. It's not easy for her to live in her husband's family. Now that she has returned to her maternal family, we, her maternal family, have to take good care of her." Zhao Yuner nodded in agreement. For a woman, her maternal family was the last thing she could rely on. If her maternal family did not do a good job, the one who suffered the most was Zhao Jinger. Zhao Jinger was already pitiful enough without Li Chuiying as her mother. As her cousin, there was no harm in helping her with something as trivial as this. If she did not help with something as trivial as this, she would appear too petty in the eyes of others. "Fourth aunt, wait for me. I'll go wash my hands and hand over some things." "All right." Chapter 2176. At this time, a carriage was parked in front of old Zhao's yard. It should be young Master Zheng's. A few tables and chairs were moved out of the yard. Zhao Jinger and young Master Zheng sat in the yard. The other elders of old Zhao's family also sat down. Zhao Jinger, who had stayed with the Zheng family for a while, was obviously a little different from before she got married. Not to mention anything else, just the way she dressed had changed a lot. At this time, Zhao Jinger was wearing a pink long dress. She exuded a youthful aura and a sense of nobility at the same time. This was something that the rough clothes of the countryside could not bring out at all. She had also become a lot rounder. She was a little fatter than before, but her complexion was much better. Her skin was much fairer and smoother. It was probably due to the nourishment of good food. Because the Zheng family was rich, Zhao Jinger was even more adorned with gold and silver. She had a white jade hairpin on her head and gold bracelets on her hands. She did look a little like a noble woman. Clothes made the man and gold made the Buddha. The saying was right. Young Master Zheng was wearing bright blue clothes. He looked a little mature. From his appearance, it could be seen that young Master Zheng was much older than Zhao Jing'er. Fortunately, when the two of them sat together, they seemed to be in harmony. At this time, Hua Chunhua looked at young Master Zheng with a fawning look. After glancing at these people a few times, Zhao Yun-er looked away and turned to enter old Zhao's kitchen to prepare the meal. Qian Hongzhao followed Zhao Yun-er into the kitchen and helped Zhao Yun-er. There was a lot of food to prepare at noon. Zhao Yun-er couldn't do it alone. Because young Master Zheng brought a lot of fish before coming over, old Zhao's family didn't prepare much. They just cooked the fish that young Master Zheng brought. Otherwise they wouldn't have been able to buy fish back. There were only some wild vegetables left at home. They couldn't serve Zhao Jing'er and young Master Zheng with these vegetarian dishes. Hua Chunhua caught a chicken from the chicken coop and let Zhao Yun'er cook it. There were fish, meat and chicken. With Zhao Yun'er's cooking skills, Zhao Yun'er could cook a sumptuous lunch. Chen Jue helped Zhao Yun'er as she smiled and said, "Yun'er, you saw it just now, right?" Jing-er was indeed different after marrying into a rich family. She looked much better than before. A woman should find a good husband to marry. Not only would she not have to suffer, she would also become more and more beautiful. However, not everyone can have such good fortune. Jing-er was born with such a good fate. Qian Zhuzhe seemed to be very satisfied with Zhao Jing'er's marriage, as if she had completely forgotten that Zhao Jing'er was only marrying young Master Zheng as a concubine and not his wife. However, Zhao Yun'er could understand. People in ancient times only wanted to live a good life. Filling their stomachs was the most important thing. Why would they think so much? Seeing that Zhao Jing'er's life was so good now, they naturally thought that Zhao Jing'er had married into a good family. Thus, they ignored that Zhao Jing'er was a concubine in the Zheng family. Fourth aunt, everyone has their own way of living. As long as they have enough to eat, wear warm clothes and live happily as a family. Zhao Yun'er added with a smile. Qian Zhuzhe nodded in agreement. Yun'er, you're right. Chapter 2177. There's still a long way to go. Maybe you'll see. Therefore, my cousin doesn't know that second aunt has left our Zhao family. If she knows this time, she might take young Master Zheng to second aunt's house next time. Chen Zhenhua thought about it and agreed. As long as Zhao Jing'er missed Li Chueying, she would always go to Li Chueying. At this time, Zhao Jing'er was sitting next to Zhao Wenshui. Seeing that her father had lost a lot of weight in such a short time, and his complexion was terrible, Zhao Jing'er felt very distressed. She was a little confused. She had only been married for a short time. What happened to her family that could make Zhao Wenshui like this? Dad, what's wrong with you? Are you sick? And where's mother? Why didn't I see her when I came back this time? Faced with Zhao Jing'er's question, Zhao Wenshui didn't know how to answer for a while. He felt even more guilty thinking about the dirty things he had done to drive Li Chueying away. If he said it out loud, Zhao Jing'er would definitely blame him. Seeing that Zhao Wenshui lowered his head and didn't speak, Zhao Jing'er was a little anxious and had a bad feeling in her heart. She asked Zhao Wenshui, "Dad, tell me what's wrong with you. What's wrong with my mother? Don't keep quiet, okay?" Zhao Wenshui sighed heavily and said to Zhao Jing'er, "Well, Jing-er, your mother went back to her mother's house, so she's not at home." Zhao Jing'er frowned and felt that something was wrong. My mother went back to her mother's house? Why did she go back to her mother's house? Zhao Wenshui wanted to fool her, so he said casually, "If she went back, then she went back. How would I know what she's going to do?" Zhao Jing'er took a deep breath and looked at Zhao Wenshui. Seeing Zhao Wenshui's guilty look, she knew that Zhao Wenshui must be hiding something from her, so she asked, "Dad, can you tell me the truth? Did you force my mother away again?" No. Zhao Wenshui replied timidly. "No." Zhao Jing'er stared at Zhao Wenshui. She was very suspicious of Zhao Wenshui. "No. Jing-er, it's rare for you to go back to your parents' home. Why do you have to ask your mother? Let's talk about something else." Zhao Wenshui smiled embarrassedly. The more Zhao Wenshui acted like this, the more Zhao Jing felt that there was more to it, so she snorted and said, "Dad, it doesn't matter if you don't tell me. I'll go to Grandma's house tomorrow and ask what happened. If I find out that you did something wrong to my mother and forced her away again, I won't let you go." Zhao Wenshui immediately panicked after hearing Zhao Jing'er's words. He was afraid that Zhao Jing would really ignore him. He didn't have anything now. Because of his injuries, he had been living a hard life. He was counting on his daughter to help him and let him live a good life. Otherwise, who else could he rely on? Okay. Jing-er, Dad will tell you, okay? Your mother divorced me and ran back to her mother's house alone. Jing-er, I don't want to divorce your mother. Look, after your mother divorced me, what kind of life did your father have? I was injured and had no one to take care of me. I almost died in bed. If your mother was here, I wouldn't be like this. In the end, she cruelly abandoned me and let your father live a pitiful life alone." Zhao Wenshui wept and complained in front of Zhao Jing, looking very sad. Chapter 2178. Hearing this, Zhao Jing'er wondered if Zhao Wenshui was telling the truth. She knew Zhao Wenshui and Li Chuanying's personalities very well. Her mother didn't seem like someone who would do anything to her father. The two of them wouldn't fight for a divorce for no reason. Something must have happened. However, seeing that Zhao Wenshui was indeed like what he had said, with no one to take care of him when he was injured and looking half dead, although his injuries were almost healed, his complexion was still half a level worse than before. In his heart, he began to believe Zhao Wenshui's words. Zhao Wenshui continued wiping his tears and complaining to Zhao Jing'er and young Master Zheng. "My precious daughter and son-in-law, I'm living a hard life. I don't have a woman by my side. It's too hard for me to live alone. If you pity me, help me buy a wife. Someone will take good care of me in Jianghu. Otherwise, as a man, I can't even take care of myself without a wife, let alone a child. I know your family is rich. Buying a woman will cost at most 20 or 30 taels. I believe you can afford it. For the sake of my future, you have to help me." Seeing Zhao Wenshui crying pitifully, but saying such words, Zhao Jing'er felt very uncomfortable. Most importantly, her father directly asked them to buy a wife for him in front of young Master Zheng. Zhao Jing'er felt that she had lost face in front of her man. Although the Zheng family was rich, they weren't stupid enough to give money away for free. She was only a concubine in the Zheng family after all. Her status wasn't high. It was already not easy for young Master Zheng to accompany her back to her parents' home. However, as soon as they came to her parents' home, her father asked for this and that, which made young Master Zheng unhappy. She didn't know how to face young Master Zheng later. Zhao Wenshui was thick-skinned and muddle-headed, but the rest of the old Zhao family weren't muddle-headed. Zhao Baoshan couldn't help but scold Zhao Wenshui. "You shameless man. You did something shameful and forced your wife to leave. How dare you talk about her? I think you shouldn't ask Jing to buy a wife for you, lest you harm others again." Zhao Wenshui's face darkened, but he was afraid of Zhao Baoshan. Feeling wronged, she muttered, "Father, why are you like this?" Zhao Jing'er rushed to Baoshan and asked, "Grandpa, what did my father do to drive my mother away?" Zhao Baoshan coughed lightly. "Jing', I can't talk about your father's disgraceful deeds in front of young Master Zheng. Anyway, don't believe what he says and don't buy him a wife." Zhao Wenshui was anxious and said to Zhao Baoshan, "Father, if you don't let Jing buy me a wife, how can I live in the future? You and mother don't care about me. I'm your son. Don't tell me you want me to die? It's not easy for me to stay alive in bed this time. If it happens again and no one takes care of me, I may not be so lucky to survive." Zhao Baoshan snorted. "What does it have to do with others whether you can survive or not? If you want to blame someone, blame yourself. If you didn't do those dirty things, would it be like this now?" Hua Chunhua gave Zhao Baoshan a look. "Old man, that's enough. Young Master Zheng is still here. Save some face for second brother." Chapter 2179. Even though young Master Zheng was old Zhao's son-in-law, the old Zhao family knew that they had to be careful in front of someone of young Master Zheng's status. Otherwise, young Master Zheng would laugh at them and leave a bad impression of the old Zhao family. Zhao Baoshan shut his mouth but gave Zhao Wenshui a warning look, hinting him to be careful and not ask for anything in front of young Master Zheng. It would make the old Zhao family look greedy and become a laughing stock. Zhao Wenshui was a coward to begin with. After being warned by Zhao Baoshan, he didn't dare to say anything else and could only shut his mouth resentfully. However, he was very unwilling. If he didn't say anything, where would he get the money and where would he buy a wife? If he didn't have a wife, he wouldn't be able to live his life. Sigh. Zhao Wenshui sighed heavily in his heart. The more he thought about it, the more tragic he felt. How could other people's days be so happy while his days were getting worse and worse? Seeing that Zhao Wenshui didn't say anything else, Zhao Baoshan relaxed. The family sat in the courtyard, waiting for Zhao Yun'er to prepare the meal for lunch. As soon as Zhao Xinhui smelled the familiar aroma coming from the kitchen, she knew that Zhao Yun'er must have come to cook. She excitedly ran out of the house and approached Hua Chunhua. She asked Hua Chunhua, "Mother, is that Yun'er coming to cook?" Hua Chunhua was in a good mood, so she smiled and replied to Zhao Xinhui, "Wenshui, your nose is really sharp. You didn't see anyone, but just by smelling the aroma, you knew that Yun'er was cooking?" Zhao Xinhui smiled. "Of course. I have a good nose. Yun'er's cooking smells very special. Of course I can smell it. Zhao Baoshan mocked him from the side. How is your nose sharp? I think you're just gluttonous. I've never seen you so active and smart in other things. Zhao Xinhui felt wronged and complained to Zhao Baoshan, Dad, why do you always scold me? Hua Chunhua also defended Zhao Xinhui. That's right, old man. Is there something wrong with your head? Why are you picking on Hui? Okay. I won't say any more, okay? Zhao Baoshan waved his hand impatiently. Zhao Xinhui ignored Zhao Baoshan. Anyway, it wasn't the first time her father was like this. To put it bluntly, he just didn't like her. Zhao Xinhui pulled Hua Chunhua's hand and asked impatiently, Mom, when will the food be ready? I'm starving to death. Zhao Xinhui touched her stomach as she spoke. Hua Chunhua said, Yun-er just went to the kitchen to cook. There's a lot of food for lunch today, so it'll be difficult to finish it in a short time. Don't be anxious. Sit down and wait for a while. Upon hearing that they would have to wait for a long time, Zhao Xinhui was extremely anxious. Seeing that only Zhao Yun'er and Chen Hongzhao were busy in the kitchen, Zhao Xinhui urged Hua Chunhua, Mom, don't just stand there. Why are you sitting in the yard? Go to the kitchen and help Yun'er with fourth sister-in-law. This way Yun'er will be able to work faster and I can eat earlier. Hua Chunhua was too lazy to work. After all, it was inconvenient for her to move around in her old age. Doing small things was tiring, so she naturally tried to be lazy when she could. Chapter 2180. Hua Chunhua frowned and said, My legs are inconvenient, so I won't help you in the kitchen. Then she glanced at Feng Zhangxia and said to her, My eldest daughter-in-law, you're going to have lunch with us. Your fourth sister-in-law is helping Yun'er in the room. Why are you slacking off here? Feng Zhangxia pursed her lips and said, Mother, it's enough to have 2 people working in the kitchen. If there are more people, it will be chaotic. I won't add to the trouble. Hua Chunhua spat on the ground and said, Bah, I think you're too lazy. If you don't want to work, just don't. Why do you have to come up with so many excuses? You're the laziest among all the daughters-in-law. You should learn from your fourth sister-in-law and be more diligent. Feng Zhangxia wasn't young anymore. She wasn't a child anymore. Therefore, she felt uncomfortable after Hua Chunhua scolded her. If Hua Chunhua was not her mother-in-law, she really wanted to argue with Hua Chunhua. Everyone in the old Zhao family knew that Zhao Xinhui was the laziest person in the family. She did not do any work, but she also asked for this and that. However, Hua Chunhua treated Zhao Xinhui as a treasure. Unfortunately, she did not have the courage to say these words. She knew Hua Chunhua's character very well. If she really said these facts, Hua Chunhua would be angry with her. Mother, don't nag. I'll help in the kitchen, okay? Feng Zhangxia said as she went into the kitchen and cooked with Zhao Yun'er. On such a hot day, the 3 women squeezed into the kitchen. With the addition of the fire, each of them was suffocating and sweating. After working for about 2 hours, Zhao Yun'er finally finished preparing the meal. The men who had gone out to work also came back. Feng Zhangxia asked Zhao Qianhu to go to Zhao Yun'er's house to inform them that dinner was ready. Zhao Yun'er and her family then went to old Zhao's house. Because there were so many people, 1 table was not enough, so they simply set up 2 tables. Each dish was divided into 2 portions and placed on the 2 tables. In this way, the men could sit together to drink and the women and children could sit together to eat. After the dishes were placed on the table, old Zhao's family gathered together and began to eat. Usually, old Zhao's family rarely gathered together. If Zhao Jing-er had not come back this time, they might not have had this opportunity. Looking at the sumptuous food, young Master Zheng's house, which was rare. Although he did not have to worry about food and clothes, he had a lot of delicacies. And eats Zhao Yun's food. If Zhao Yun'er had not disagreed, he really wanted to marry this woman. Unfortunately, he did not have the fortune to taste Zhao Yun'er's cooking every day. This could be considered a rare opportunity for him. The food on the table was enough for a big meal. Young Master Zheng glanced at the dishes on the table, then his eyes fell on Zhao Yun'er. Although this woman was not that beautiful, at most delicate, she gave people a different kind of temperament which was very attractive. Perhaps it was because he had never seen Zhao Yun'er's temperament in other women, so he felt that Zhao Yun'er was so special. He could not help but want to get close to Zhao Yun'er. Chapter 2181. She didn't like other men staring at her. After all, it was very impolite. She always felt uncomfortable when her every move fell into the eyes of others. However, young Master Zheng didn't avoid it at all. His gaze on her was somewhat unscrupulous. Could it be that all men were like this? They thought they had a good status and were thinking about all kinds of women around them. This young Master Zheng had married her cousin and was her cousin's husband. That meant he was her brother-in-law. How dare he stare at her like this? And young Master Zheng's eyes clearly revealed a message that was, he was interested in her. Zhao Yun'er met young Master Zheng's eyes. There was a hint of disgust in her eyes. Then she glared at young Master Zheng as a warning. However, young Master Zheng thought that Zhao Yun'er was hinting at something to him. Not only did he not withdraw his gaze, but he also smiled with great interest. Zhao Yun'er was angry. She secretly complained in her heart, how could there be such a man? If her cousin married young Master Zheng, apart from having a better material life, it would be better for her to marry an honest farmer. Zhao Yun'er seemed to have noticed young Master Zheng's movements and thoughts. There was a touch of loneliness in her eyes. Zhao Yun'er only felt wronged. Her cousin wouldn't have misunderstood something, right? She already had Mu Lianfeng. She wouldn't be interested in this man who was inferior to Mu Lianfeng in terms of appearance and family background. After all, she wasn't blind. She knew what kind of man was good and what kind was not. Once she abandoned a man like Mu Lianfeng, it wouldn't be so easy to get him again. Zhao Yun'er didn't want to think about it anymore. She turned her head away and returned to the woman's table to eat. After being busy for so long, she spent a lot of energy. Her stomach was already growling. She couldn't wait to eat more to replenish her strength. There were meat and vegetables on the table. Zhao Yun'er took the bowl and began to eat. The other people in old Zhao's family were also very hungry. In addition, Zhao Yun'er's food was delicious. They couldn't help but quickly eat. Young Master Zheng looked away from Zhao Yun'er in disappointment. After all, Zhao Yun'er was too lazy to pay attention to him, so he couldn't just stare at her. It was not easy to get this kind of special woman. Young Master Zheng, hurry up and eat. It won't taste good if it gets cold. I'll pour you another glass of wine. Come, let's drink together. Zhao Baoshan took the initiative to greet young Master Zheng. Young Master Zheng nodded. All right, let's eat together. Yeah. The meal was eaten very quickly, but everyone was satisfied with the meal. After all, such a meal was hard to come by. If it weren't for young Master Zheng's arrival, they probably wouldn't even be able to eat minced meat, let alone a meal with fish and meat. After the meal, young Master Zheng and Zhao Jing'er did not stay at old Zhao's place for long. Instead, they prepared to leave. Zhao Baoshan said, "Why don't you stay a little longer? We've just finished our meal. Why don't we take a rest? Anyway, there's no rush. We'll definitely be able to make it back in the afternoon." Young Master Zheng shook his head. "I still have things to do at home. I have to go back early to deal with them. I'll visit again when I have time." Hearing young Master Zheng's words, Zhao Baoshan felt embarrassed. "All right then. Since young Master Zheng has something to do, I won't keep you any longer. I don't want to delay your business." Chapter 2182. It was not easy for Zhao Jing'er to come back to her parents' home, but she had to go back after only a few hours. Naturally, she was reluctant to leave. Although Zhao Wenxue was not a good person, Zhao Wenxue was her father after all. Zhao Jing'er could not bear to ignore him. Looking at Zhao Wenshue's miserable appearance, Zhao Jing'er said to Zhao Wenxue before leaving, "Father, since my mother is not with you, you have to be careful. Take good care of yourself and Tianyu." Zhao Wenxue, however, looked at Zhao Jing'er with a pitiful expression. "Jing'er, it's useless to just talk to me. You have to do something. Remember what I said to you. Help your father find a wife. Otherwise, I can't take good care of myself and Tianyu." Zhao Jing'er's face froze. She thought her father was just saying it casually, but now he mentioned it again. It was obvious that he really cared about it. Zhao Jing'er said with a sullen face, "Father, why don't you reflect on yourself and try to persuade my mother to come back so that she can live a good life with you? You even want to marry a wife. You're already so old. Don't you know shame? Do you want to buy a girl as old as me? Then you can be an old cow eating young grass." Zhao Jing'er was not polite at all. She did not leave Zhao Wenxue any face. Of course, she said that because she felt it was unfair to Li Chueying. It was fine that her father drove her mother away in anger, but now, he did not miss her mother at all and only thought about these dirty things. Zhao Wenxue was also embarrassed after being scolded by Zhao Jing'er so directly. After all, in front of old Zhao's family, he also wanted to save face. And Zhao Jing'er was his daughter. How could a daughter scold her father like that? Zhao Wenxue coughed softly and said to Zhao Jing'er, "How can you talk about your father like that? Am I that kind of person in your eyes? You know your mother's temper. It's harder to persuade her to come back than to pull 9 cows. Besides, I said I wanted to find a wife, not a young and beautiful one. Just find an older one as long as she can take care of your father and Tianyu. Seeing Zhao Wenshui's self-righteous and shameless look, Zhao Jing'er was even more disappointed. Father, how do you know you can't persuade my mother to come back without even trying? I think you just don't care about my mother. Alas, you are getting more and more insatiable. How can you talk about your father like that? You were born to your mother, weren't you? You only know how to think about your mother. Don't you feel sorry for your father? Zhao Wenshui was a little anxious, his face full of displeasure. Zhao Jing'er took a deep breath and threw a look at Zhao Wenshui. If you want to get a wife, go get one yourself. Anyway, I won't give you money to find another woman, Zhao Jing'er said and walked to young Master Zheng, who was already waiting for her outside old Zhao's yard. Zhao Wenshui wanted to stop Zhao Jing'er and ask her to make it clear. Why couldn't she give him money to get a wife? She was his daughter and he was not doing well. Shouldn't she give him some money to help him? Otherwise, what was the use of raising a daughter for so many years? Old Zhao's family hurriedly stopped Zhao Wenshui. Chapter 2183. Zhao Wentao couldn't help but say this. Although he was only an uncle, he still couldn't stand Zhao Wenshui's behavior and felt that Zhao Wenshui had gone too far. Zhao Baoshan also said, "That's right. Don't you feel ashamed? You're a man, so what's the point of pestering your daughter for money? If you really want to marry a wife, you can earn your own money to marry her. No one will stop you and no one will criticize you." Zhao Wenshui suddenly became depressed. Let him earn his own money? Are you kidding me? He didn't have the ability, so how could he earn money? If he didn't rely on his daughter, he would probably starve to death, let alone earn money to marry a wife. Father Jing'er is my daughter. Why can't I ask her for money? Zhao Wenshui couldn't help but grumble pitifully. Zhao Baoshan snorted coldly. Okay. You're so useless. Father, I'm useless. What's the use of being useless? As long as I have a good life, that's more important than anything else. Zhao Baoshan saw that Zhao Wenshui had no other ability, but he was good at twisting words and forcing logic. I'm too lazy to talk to you. Zhao Baoshan replied to Zhao Wenshui angrily. Zhao Jing'er had already gotten into young Master Zheng's carriage. The carriage didn't stay for long and went straight away. Looking in the direction of the carriage, Zhao Wenshui sighed heavily. His daughter was really ruthless. She didn't seem to take what he just said to heart. He turned around and went back to the house in disappointment, thinking about how to get money. Anyway, he couldn't starve to death. When he was desperate, he would go directly to young Master Zheng's mansion. He didn't believe that young Master Zheng wouldn't give him money if he went to him personally. After Zhao Jing'er and young Master Zheng left, Zhao Yun'er and her family also went back. They rested for 2 hours at noon. In the afternoon, the sun went down a little, and the men in the family began to work in the fields again. Because Zhu Eru's health wasn't good, Zhao Tianan helped Mulan's family harvest rice these days. After a few days of work, the grains were almost all harvested. Zhao Yun'er's family was finally busy with the harvest season, and the following period of time was a lot more relaxed. After the rice was harvested, the grains had to be removed from the stalks to be stored conveniently. Zhao Yun'er's family several mu of fields, and they had harvested more than 1,000 kilograms of rice. But after they threw the husks away, the rice is probably only 800 or 900 kilograms. The rice paddies of ancient times were not like those of modern times. Now, not only were there hybrid rice paddies that could be planted, but they could also greatly increase the yield. Furthermore, modern fertilizers and pesticides were not available in ancient times. Because of this, in ancient times, the yield of grain per mu of land would be greatly reduced. Originally, in the 21st century, 1 mu of land could produce thousands of caddies of grain, but in ancient times, 1 mu of land could only produce a few hundred caddies of grain. In the event of natural disasters or drought, the rice's output would continue to shrink. It was already not easy for Zhao Yun'er's family to have their current output. Now that Zhao Yun'er's family had a lot of people, they didn't have to be as frugal as before. The rice harvested from the fields was definitely not enough for a year's rations. Fortunately, they had some money on hand. Even if they didn't have enough rations, they could still buy some rice. After the busy days were over, the family had some free time. The weather gradually entered autumn, and there was no longer the heat of the 6th and 7th lunar months. Chapter 2184. After all, it was their son's marriage, so Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua were very concerned about it. They also couldn't wait for Mu Hin to marry into their third branch as soon as possible, so that they could hold their grandchildren as soon as possible. Now that they were old, what they hoped for the most was for their children to start a family and start a career. If it was in the past, they would probably think more about it. Now that the third branch had money in their hands, they could casually buy all the things for the wedding. After Zhao Yun proposed it, Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua readily agreed. Zhao Yun asked for Zhao Tianan's opinion. After all, this was Zhao Tianan's marriage, so they had to get his consent before it could be arranged as soon as possible. Zhao Tianan didn't say anything, but his face was red, and he didn't say anything. Looking at Zhao Tianan's shy face, Zhao Yun knew that his younger brother was just embarrassed to say it. In fact, he also hoped that he could marry Mu Hin as soon as possible. After Zhao Yun and Mu Lan discussed it, Mu Lan also asked for Mu Hin's opinion. Mu Hin didn't refuse and had the same reaction as Zhao Tianan. Zhao Yun and Mu Lan tacitly began to arrange the marriage for Zhao Tianan and Mu Hin. Zhao Yun added some new clothes and jewelry that she had bought for Mu Hin before, and the gift money was also very appropriate. 66 taels of silver meant that everything would be smooth sailing. For Zhao Yun's family, 66 taels of silver was possible, but for the people in the countryside, 66 taels of silver was an astronomical figure. When an ordinary family married a wife, it was estimated that the gift money would be 5 or 6 taels. At most, it would be a dozen taels. If it was a poor family, it would be possible to give 2 or 3 taels. As for the other things, Zhao Yun and Mu Lan went shopping together. They used the donkey cart to bring back everything they needed. His family had specially prepared a new room. They had purchased new furniture and bedding as well as some other decorations. When the whole new house was decorated, it was definitely the first house in the village. There was no other house that looked better than Zhao Yun's new house. Looking at such a new house, Mu Lan couldn't help but feel envious. How comfortable it would be if you could live in a room like this. Beside the bed was a dressing table with a bronze mirror on it. The drawer contained some pretty jewelry and rouge. It was a piece of equipment that only rich families could have, but the country bumpkins were able to enjoy them. The date of the wedding was getting closer and closer. After their son's wedding, Mu Hin and Zhao Tianan could only follow wedding customs. Before the wedding, they could not meet each other for a period of time. They could only see each other on the day of the wedding. And this period of time was also the most difficult time between Zhao Tianan and Mu Hin. After all, they could see each other every day. Now that they were separated for more than 10 days, it was somewhat unbearable. Since they had nothing to do at home, they looked forward to seeing each other sooner. From time to time, Zhao Yun would see Zhao Tianan's head poking into Mu Lan's courtyard. He was just short of directly looking for her. Every time she saw Zhao Tianan like this, Zhao Yun wanted to laugh. Perhaps she hadn't experienced the feeling of not seeing each other for a day that felt like 3 years. Tianan, if you really want to see Mu Hin, go to Mu Lan's house to look for her. If you continue like this, your neck is going to break. Zhao Tianan's face suddenly became a little embarrassed. He said to Zhao Yun in embarrassment, "Sister? I just want to see her. There's no need to look for her." Chapter 2185. Zhao Yun couldn't help but laugh. Zhao Yun only thought of these things from the countryside as feudal superstitions and didn't really believe them. But you still can't see her like this. You can only go to Mu Lan's house to look for her. Zhao Tianan still shook his head. "Forget it, second sister. If I can't see her, then so be it. Even if I go to Mu Hin in the morning now, she definitely won't be willing to see me." Zhao Yun chuckled and patted Zhao Tianan's shoulder. "Then don't go. Anyway, it'll be time to get married in a few more days. You can look at her to your heart's content at night and make up for what you didn't see these days." Zhao Yun's teasing made Zhao Tianan's face redden even more. "Second sister, what are you saying?" Zhao Tianan thought that Zhao Yun was talking about the wedding night when only he and Mu Hin would be left. The two of them would definitely see each other and do embarrassing things. Zhao Yun was slightly stunned. Then, she realized what Zhao Tianan was thinking and laughed even more teasingly. "Tianan's second sister really didn't mean anything. Don't think too much about it. You're the one who's thinking dirty now. Second sister." Zhao Tianan lowered his head and blushed to the tips of his ears. Zhao Yun saw Zhao Tian's appearance and sighed in her heart. In the 21st century, it was really rare to see such a pure little boy. That shy way of lowering his head was somewhat cute. Sure enough, only a beautiful and considerate sister like her could have such a cute little brother. No one knew what Zhao Yun was thinking at this time. Otherwise, there would definitely be someone who would stand up and scold her for being shameless. Just then there was some movement outside the courtyard. Little Hay was barking madly at the outside, as if it had seen some enemy. Hearing Little Hay's barking, Zhao Yun knew who had come over. Apart from Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan, there was no one else who could cause little He to be so resentful and hostile. Why did these two people come here today? Now that he saw Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan, he had a headache. When Zhao Tianan saw Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan, he said to Zhao Yun'er, second sister, eldest sister and eldest brother-in-law are here. Zhao Yun'er nodded and left the courtyard. Because little He was guarding the gate, Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan didn't dare to go forward. They just stood far away, afraid that little He would rush out and bite them. Seeing Zhao Yun'er and Zhao Tianan coming out of the house, Zhao Ping'er hurriedly shouted, Zhao Yun'er, hurry up and get rid of your damn dog. Yo, older sister Ping'er, I haven't seen you in a long time. What are you here for this time? You are a busy person now and your business is very good. Where would you find the time to come to my place? Zhao Yun'er's words carried a bit of sarcasm, and her tone was not very good. Of course, Zhao Yun'er simply didn't want Zhao Ping'er to come over. During this period of time, Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan had the best lives. The restaurant Zhao Ping'er opened in Yang City was doing very well. Because the chef she hired was good at cooking, and in addition to the previous signature pig offal, there was an endless stream of people coming to the restaurant every day. With this good business they naturally earned more money. In such a short period of time, the restaurant had already earned several hundred taels of silver. Today Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan were dressed very differently from before. Chapter 2186. It was a pity that her face was too pitiful to look at. Even if she wore nice clothes she still looked shabby. Zhao Yun'er on the other hand, pitied the clothes that Zhao Ping'er was wearing. It was such a waste. If someone else were to wear these clothes they would look so good. In addition, Zhao Ping'er also bought a lot of jewelry. It was obvious that this restaurant alone had brought a lot of benefits to the family Qin. Qin Yuan on the other hand, was dressed like a rich young master. Qin Yuan was already delicate, and after dressing up a little, he looked very handsome. He was a little different from before. If he went out like this, he would probably attract the attention of many young girls and attract the favor of many women. The two of them originally only traveled by donkey cart. Zhao Ping'er was greedy and bought a donkey with great difficulty. It was a stupid donkey and it would occasionally cause problems on the road. Now that they had money, they directly abandoned the donkey and bought a carriage. Although it was not a very luxurious carriage, it was very rare for a country bumpkin to be able to ride a carriage. If they did not know Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan's identities, most people would think that they were from a rich family. Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips and replied unhappily, My restaurant is very busy so I don't have time to come here. But I heard from Xiao Feng that Tianan is about to get married. As the big sister I should come and give some money, right? Zhao Yun'er sneered, Big sister Ping'er, can't you just ask Ma Xiaofeng to bring the money back? Why do you have to come here personally? To put it bluntly, now that they were rich she wanted to make him jealous. Recently Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan were the same kind of people. They both loved to show off, afraid that others would not know that they were rich now and were living well. It was really as the saying went, the more they did not have before, the more they wanted to show off after they had it. This time Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan came here in a carriage and dressed up. It was clear that they had prepared meticulously. There were very few carriages in the village on a daily basis. Their arrival would naturally attract the attention of the villagers. This way they could let others know and gain their attention. Then they could show off. Zhao Ping'er glared at Zhao Yun'er angrily. Zhao Yun'er, no one can beat you in terms of eloquence. I specially came here to give Tianan money as a gift. Doesn't that mean I value Tianan as his elder sister? My good intentions are truly unrequited. Can't you see that I wasted a lot of effort? Zhao Yun'er replied bluntly, Sister Ping'er, you know what you're thinking. I'm too lazy to talk to you. Hurry up and get rid of your damn dog. I want to go in. Zhao Ping'er said in a commanding tone. Now that she felt that she had earned enough money and was living a prosperous life, she was confident in her words. She was not like before when she was somewhat submissive. Now she was arrogant. Zhao Yun'er said to Little Black, Little Black, move aside first. Let them in. Little Black understood Zhao Yun'er's meaning. He softly whimpered a few times and did not continue to bark. Zhao Ping'er proudly walked into Zhao Yun'er's courtyard. Qin Yuan followed behind her. Where's mother? Zhao Ping'er was a little disappointed when she did not see Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua. Chapter 2187. How could Zhao Yun'er not see through Zhao Ping'er's thoughts? She calmly replied to Zhao Ping'er, Father and mother are resting in the house. Now that you're pregnant you should rest more. Zhao Ping'er then said to Zhao Yuner in a commanding tone, then quickly go and call father and mother out. Since I'm here today they have to see me, right? Zhao Yuner was a little speechless. She faintly ridiculed, Zhao Ping'er, are you dreaming or what? How shameless are you to make father and mother come out to see you in person? Didn't you just come here to send a gift money? Now that you're here, just put down the gift money. Don't just think about causing trouble in front of father and mother. Zhao Ping'er was unconvinced and retorted, Zhao Yuner, what do you mean? Father and mother didn't say that they don't want to see me. You just don't want to see me well. Sister Ping'er, if there's something wrong with your brain, you can go see a doctor. Don't even know that you're suffering from paranoia. Zhao Ping'er realized that she couldn't outtalk Zhao Yuner. Not only did she not gain the upper hand with her words, but she also accumulated a belly full of anger. Thus she was a little angry and said, if you don't want to go then forget it. I'll go by myself. However, Zhao Yuner suddenly blocked Zhao Ping'er's way. She waited in front of Zhao Ping'er and replied unhappily, Mother is sleeping now. Won't you wake her up if you run over? If she's awake then she's awake. Can't she continue to sleep later? It's not easy for me to come here. You should let father and mother see me, right? No. Zhao Yuner coldly refused. I want to go in. Zhao Ping'er pretended to want to force her way in. However, her little bit of strength was nothing in front of Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner gently pushed Zhao Ping'er, and Zhao Ping'er fell to the ground, unable to get up. The most pitiful part of this fall wasn't the pain from the fall, but Zhao Ping'er's heart ached for her clothes. Her clothes were very expensive and cost her 2 taels of silver. It was definitely rare to see such expensive clothes in the countryside. If it was damaged or torn, she would lose 2 taels of silver. Zhao Ping'er quickly got up from the ground and checked her body. She saw that her clothes were in perfect condition. After confirming that she was fine, Zhao Ping'er heaved a heavy sigh of relief. Fortunately, it's fine. Then she raised her head in displeasure and looked at Zhao Yuner. She angrily questioned Zhao Yuner, aren't you going too far? If you tear my expensive clothes, you'll have to compensate me. Zhao Yuner rolled her eyes at Zhao Ping'er and coldly said, who told you to insist on barging in? This is my home. I said that you're not allowed to enter, so you're not allowed to enter. If you insist on forcing your way in, then don't blame me for what happens next. As for your clothes, don't come looking for me if they're damaged. In any case, I won't compensate you. Even if I find someone to reason with, it's your fault first. Who told you to enter my house without my permission? You. Zhao Ping'er was so angry that her kidneys hurt. If her clothes were damaged and Zhao Ping'er really didn't want to accompany her, she had no other choice. Who told Zhao Yuner's backer to be Mu Lianfeng? With Mu Lianfeng around, who would dare to come looking for trouble? Zhao Ping'er originally wanted to enter the house, but she was afraid that Zhao Yuner would continue to make a move on her. At that time, not only would she not be able to enter, her clothes would also be damaged by Zhao Yuner. She would have to pay 2 taels of silver for nothing. Chapter 2188. Zhao Yuner sneered and replied, it's best if you don't care. Anyway, I don't expect Sister Ping'er to care. Zhao Ping'er's face darkened and she muttered, isn't it just a rundown house? What's so great about it? I'm going to build a bigger house than this. No, who would want to build a house in the village? It's boring to stay in such a godforsaken place. It won't be long before I can save enough money to buy a big house in Jianghu City. Living in the city is much more comfortable than living in the countryside. I can buy whatever I want and eat immediately. It's not like in a godforsaken village where it's difficult to even buy a kilogram of pork. The more Zhao Ping'er spoke, the more smug she became. It was as if she could immediately see the scene when she moved into a big house in Jianghu City. Zhao Yuner replied coldly, Sister Ping'er, if you're not wrong, little aunt will also move in after you buy a big house in Jianghu City. Sigh, with little aunt around, I'm sure Sister Ping'er's life won't be so easy. In my opinion, living in a big house might not be as comfortable as living in the countryside now. Zhao Yuner's words were like a thorn in Zhao Ping'er's heart. However, Zhao Yuner was right. Zhao Xinhui was still living in old Zhao's house because she had not saved enough money to buy a house in Jianghu City. Family Qin's rundown house was even worse than old Zhao's house. Zhao Xinhui was naturally willing to continue living in old Zhao's house. However, it would be different once she bought a house in Jianghu City. Zhao Xinhui would definitely be very happy to live in a comfortable big house in Jianghu City. If she and Qin Yuan moved in, Zhao Xinhui would move in as well. In Qin Yuan's eyes, Zhao Xinhui was far more important than her. If she lived with Zhao Xinhui and stayed with the same man, Zhao Xinhui would definitely target her. Just like when she was in old Zhao's house, Zhao Xinhui would bully her in all kinds of ways and make her work. Thinking of this, all of Zhao Ping'er's beautiful expectations were shattered by Zhao Yun'er's words. Seeing Zhao Ping'er's sullen face, Zhao Yun'er knew that she had touched the bottom of Zhao Ping'er's heart. Sister Ping'er, if you have the time to look for trouble with me, why don't you think of a way to deal with little aunt? After all, Qin Yuan is your husband, and you are his legal wife. How can you let your sister-in-law take advantage of you? You've been living with Qin Yuan for a long time. How can you let your sister-in-law join in and enjoy life with Qin Yuan? Zhao Yun'er's words were somewhat provocative. She knew that Zhao Ping'er was simple-minded, and Zhao Ping'er would listen to what she said now. For Zhao Ping'er, Qin Yuan was her weakness. Thinking that Zhao Ping'er and Zhao Xinhui might have something to do with each other, Zhao Yun'er was secretly pleased. These two women would definitely fight among themselves and there would be a lot of interesting things. However, she could watch from the sidelines. Zhao Yun'er, I don't want you to meddle in my affairs, Zhao Ping'er replied angrily. Zhao Ping'er deliberately stood in the courtyard and made some noise because she was unwilling to see Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua. Father, mother, I'm here. Why didn't you come out to see me when you were resting in the room? Zhao Ping'er, shut up. If you make any more noise, I'll let little black bite you, Zhao Yun'er impatiently said to Zhao Ping'er. Chapter 2189. Zhao Yun'er stretched out her hand and said to Zhao Ping'er, didn't you come to give the gift money today? Leave the gift money and you can leave. Zhao Yun'er really didn't want to let Zhao Ping'er continue to stay in her house, so she simply chased her away. Zhao Ping'er was a little unhappy. At this moment, Little Black was baring its teeth at her with a threatening look. Zhao Ping'er snorted coldly in her heart. Sure enough, a dog was relying on its master's power to bully others. Why was Little Black so smart? It cooperated well with Zhao Yun'er no matter what she said. She replied to Zhao Yun'er unhappily, Tianan is getting married. The gift money will naturally be given to Tianan. What's the big deal about giving it to you? Alright then, give it to Tianan. After you're done, hurry up and get lost, Zhao Yun'er urged impatiently. I still want to say a few words to Tianan. After all, I'm his biological sister. Since he's getting married, I have a few words to say to him. Zhao Yun'er couldn't stop her. Then hurry up and say it. After you're done, get lost. Don't dawdle and waste time. Got it? Zhao Ping'er also replied with some displeasure. Then she looked at Zhao Tianan and had Zhao Tianan wave her hand. Tianan, big sister has something to say to you. Go ahead. Not here. If someone hears, let's go somewhere else to talk. This? Zhao Tianan looked at Zhao Yun'er at the side, seeking her opinion. After seeing Zhao Yun'er nod in agreement, Zhao Tianan followed Zhao Ping'er to the back of the courtyard. Big sister, what do you have to say to me? Zhao Tianan asked curiously. Usually his relationship with his big sister wasn't very good, and they didn't talk much. At this moment he was very curious about what Zhao Ping'er wanted to say to him that couldn't be in front of Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Ping'er took out a red packet from her sleeve and handed it to Zhao Tianan. Here, Tianan, take it. This is big sister and brother-in-law's kind intentions. Zhao Tianan opened his mouth in surprise when he saw that there was one tael of silver in the red packet. After all, a few dozen copper coins was enough as a gift for a wedding. Zhao Tianan's one tael of silver was definitely a lot. Zhao Tianan hurriedly declined, Big sister, no, this money is too much. You should give less. I can't accept so much. Zhao Ping'er forced the red packet into Zhao Tianan's hands. Tianan, big sister has earned a lot of money these days. You finally got married and it's a joyous occasion. Giving more money as a gift is big sister's kind intentions. Don't refuse any more. Otherwise, wouldn't you be betraying big sister's good intentions? Zhao Tianan frowned in confusion. But big sister, this one tael of silver is still too much. If father and mother knew, they definitely wouldn't let me accept it. Zhao Ping'er chuckled. I say, Tianan, why are you so honest? If father and mother ask, just say that it's just a few dozen copper coins. Keep the rest of the money for yourself as a private stash. When you get married, how can you not have some spare money? You can't have to ask father and mother for anything you want to buy, right? Zhao Tianan lowered his head and stared at the tael of silver in his hand. He muttered, Big sister, we have everything at home. I don't have anything I want to buy. I definitely don't need to use my private stash. Zhao Ping'er chuckled and teased Zhao Tianan. Tianan, my good little brother, big sister has been through this before. You're right to believe me. Chapter 2190. Eldest sister. Seeing that Zhao Tianan still wanted to decline, Zhao Ping-er pulled a long face. Tianan, if you say any more, eldest sister will be angry. Isn't it just one tael of silver as a wedding gift? What's the big deal? Eldest sister and eldest brother-in-law now own a restaurant, and the money they earn in a day is much more than this. One tael of silver isn't a big sum to us now, so it's fine if you take it. Only then did Zhao Tianan reluctantly accept it, but his heart was very uneasy. He wanted to give this one tael of silver to Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua, but he was afraid that when the time came, his parents would scold him and say that he shouldn't have accepted this gift money. Just as Zhao Tianan was struggling with what to do, Zhao Ping-er said, Tianan, there's one more thing that everyone wants to talk to you about. Eldest sister, what's the matter? Zhao Ping-er sighed and looked up to ask Zhao Tianan, Tianan, do you really want to get married? Zhao Tianan was slightly stunned. Eldest sister, what do you mean? You like that Mu Hin? Zhao Tianan nodded in response. When she mentioned Mu Hin, he was a little shy. Tianan, didn't you used to like Xiaofeng? Could it be that you've forgotten Xiaofeng so quickly? Because you're getting married soon. Xiaofeng was very sad when she found out. I really couldn't bear to see her like that. Tianan, eldest sister understands women better than you do. Mu Hin is far inferior to Xiaofeng. Fortunately, you're not married now, so you still have a chance to choose. When you're really married, it'll be too late. If you still like Xiaofeng, go and tell father and mother that you don't like Mu Hin, that you don't want to marry Mu Hin, and that you want to be with Xiaofeng. Zhao Ping-er instigated Zhao Tianan. The purpose of her visit today was to say these words to Zhao Tianan. After listening to Zhao Ping-er's words, Zhao Tianan's face suddenly sank, and he immediately rejected Zhao Ping-er with righteous words. Big sister, what nonsense are you talking about? This won't do. Why not? Zhao Ping-er asked anxiously. What's so good about Mu Hin? In my opinion, he can't even compare to one of Xiaofeng's fingers. Tianan, you seem to be an honest person. Why did you have a change of heart so quickly? How long had it been? He had already fallen in love with Mu Hin and cast Xiaofeng aside. What a lowly vixen. Back then, I deliberately seduced you, but in the end you fell for it. Tsai, you're so silly. Big sister is doing this for your own good. You have to think about what big sister said. Zhao Tianan originally had a good attitude towards Zhao Ping-er, but after hearing Zhao Ping-er's words, his face immediately sank. He said to Zhao Ping-er with some displeasure, Big sister, don't talk nonsense. Mu Hin isn't the kind of person you're talking about. She's a good girl. I have to be responsible for her, so I definitely have to marry her. As for me and Xiaofeng, that's a matter of the past. I did like Xiaofeng in the past, but now the only person I like is Mu Hin. Moreover, even if I like Xiaofeng, I've already arranged a marriage with Mu Hin. Both families have already discussed and prepared for it. If I were to break off the engagement at this time, wouldn't Mu Hin be wronged? If the man breaks off the engagement before they even get married, she'll definitely be laughed at in the future. Now that I've grown up, I'm a man. I have to be responsible for my actions. I can't hurt a girl for nothing. When Zhao Ping-er heard this, she felt that Zhao Tianan was stubborn and had been bewitched by Mu Hin. Chapter 2191. Big sis, there's nothing between Xiaofeng and me anymore. I want to be together with Mu Hin. No matter which one of them I choose, I'll definitely let one of them down. There's no way to have the best of both worlds. Big sis, don't make things difficult for me. I've already made things clear with Xiaofeng previously. Zhao Tianan's expression was also a little ugly. Regarding Mu Hin and Ma Xiaofeng, anyone was clear on how to handle the relationship between these two people. In the past, he liked Ma Xiaofeng. In the end, he realized that it was still more relaxing to be together with Mu Hin. Furthermore, he had already touched Mu Hin's body. He could not be an irresponsible man. When Zhao Ping-er heard Zhao Tianan's words, her body trembled in anger. She pointed at Zhao Tianan. Tianan, you'll regret missing out on such a good girl like Xiaofeng. Big sis, if I want to be together with Xiaofeng, I'll also regret missing out on Mu Hin. As for Xiaofeng, I believe that such a good girl like her will find an even better man. Zhao Tianan's words already revealed his determination. Zhao Ping-er knew that her persuasion was hopeless and could only say, Okay. Since you insist on being together with Mu Hin, I can't stop you. I just hope that you won't regret it. Zhao Ping-er turned around impatiently. Zhao Tianan saw that Zhao Ping-er's expression was ugly and asked weakly, Big sis, are you leaving? Of course I'm leaving. If I don't leave, should I still stay here? Anyway, you're just a rock. No matter what I say, you won't move. Big sis, Zhao Ping-er did not waste her breath. Her mood was very bad. She walked out from the back of the house and Zhao Tianan followed behind resentfully. Zhao Yun glanced at the two of them. She was a little suspicious. What exactly happened? Big brother Yuan, let's go. Zhao Ping'er went to the front of Qin Yuan and said in a sweet voice. Okay. Qin Yuan nodded. The two of them didn't go back to the family Qin, but went to old Zhao's house. Qin Yuan had been busy with the restaurant these days, so it was rare for them to have time. This time, following Zhao Ping'er's wishes, he came over as her brother-in-law to give Zhao Tianan some money as a gift. After that, he couldn't wait to go to old Zhao's house and take some time to meet Zhao Xinhui. This time he brought a lot of good things to old Zhao's house. He even bought a golden hairpin for Zhao Xinhui, which cost more than 10 taels of silver. The hairpin was exquisitely made and was bought from the most famous jewelry shop in Sun City. Usually, only the rich people of Sun City would buy them. Ordinary people didn't have the ability to buy it even if they wanted to. After all, a single piece of jewelry could cost more than an ordinary person could earn in a lifetime. Although Zhao Ping'er wasn't happy and wanted to hurry back to the family Qin, she knew that Qin Yuan was going for Zhao Xinhui. She couldn't stop him. Who asked her to like Qin Yuan? Everything had to go along with Qin Yuan's wishes. However, going to old Zhao's house this time was also good. They bought such a luxurious carriage and had yet to show it off in front of old Zhao's house. This time they could go to old Zhao's house to show it off and make others envious. Hey big brother Yuan, where did this hairpin come from? It's so pretty. Qin Yuan accidentally took out the hairpin from his pocket and it fell out. Zhao Ping'er's sharp eyes noticed it. Zhao Ping'er happily picked it up from the ground. She held it in her hands and looked at it. Then she looked at Qin Yuan with a blissful expression. Big brother Yuan, are you preparing to give such a pretty hairpin to me? Chapter 2192. Qin Yuan immediately snatched the hairpin from Zhao Ping'er's hands. He glanced at it indifferently and said to Zhao Ping'er, don't waste God's gift recklessly. It's simply a waste for such a beautiful hairpin to be worn on your head. Zhao Ping'er's originally joyous face immediately sank, and a hint of loneliness appeared in her eyes. Big brother Yuan, are you really not giving this hairpin to me? Then who is it for? Zhao Ping'er asked somewhat dejectedly. Qin Yuan had a straight face. He stuffed the hairpin into his sleeve and said to Zhao Ping'er, of course it's for your little aunt. Who else could it be for? Although Zhao Ping'er had expected a reluctant answer, hearing Qin Yuan say it with her own ears gave her a different feeling. Nowadays, Qin Yuan only knew how to think about Zhao Xinhui. He would think of Zhao Xinhui first whenever he had something good. Such a beautiful golden hairpin was obviously expensive. The jewelry that she had bought was not even a tenth of Zhao Xinhui's. One could imagine how much weight she had in Qin Yuan's heart. She was also not even a tenth of Zhao Xinhui's. When she thought of this, Zhao Ping'er became even angrier. Big brother Yuan, aren't you treating little aunt too well? How much money did you spend on this golden hairpin? It's only right that I treat little aunt well. Our restaurant was able to open because of little aunt. If it weren't for little aunt, would we be able to earn so much money like we are now? Buying more things for little aunt now is a form of repayment, understand? Zhao Ping'er, how can a woman like you have any objections? Zhao Ping'er was clear that Qin Yuan was only using this as an excuse to protect Zhao Xinhui. Even if Zhao Xinhui did not invest in the restaurant, he was willing to put the best things in front of Zhao Xinhui after receiving the money. She could only choose not to pursue the matter further. Otherwise, she would be even sadder and make Qin Yuan feel uncomfortable with her. While they were talking, the carriage had already arrived in front of old Zhao's house. Qin Yuan jumped out of the car and took out a lot of things he bought. Hua Chunhua caught a glimpse of the things in Qin Yuan's hands and immediately came out to greet him. She was very polite to Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan, you haven't been here for a long time. Why did you bring so many things with you? Hua Chunhua pretended to be concerned and asked. As she spoke, she couldn't wait to take the things from the novice. Qin Yuan had brought some longans, red dates, brown sugar and precious pastries. It was obvious that they were all valuable. Hua Chunhua felt that she had earned a lot. While she was excited, she became more polite to Qin Yuan. It was completely different from the cold attitude she used to treat Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan smiled and said, Grandma, the restaurant's business has been very busy these days. I didn't have time, so I found some time to come and see you today. It's rare for me to come, so I can't come empty-handed. I must bring more things. Hua Chunhua nodded quickly. According to Qin Yuan's words, Qin Yuan's restaurant must have been doing well these days and made a lot of money. With so much money, wouldn't she and her daughter live a happy life together with Qin Yuan in the future? You're so considerate. You have a good heart. You're so filial. Huo Chunhua praised him again and again. Seeing that Huo Chunhua's attitude had changed so much, Qin Yuan was in a good mood. He smiled and replied, "It's my duty. You're my elder and this is my aunt's mother. If I'm not filial to you, who else can I be filial to?" Chapter 2193. Qin Yuan could not wait to see Zhao Xinhui, so he showed the hairpin in his hand to Zhao Xinhui. When Zhao Xinhui saw it, she would definitely be very happy and smile at him. "Your aunt is sleeping in the room. Shall I go in and call her out?" Huo Chunhua said as she made a move to enter Zhao Xinhui's room. Qin Yuan hurriedly waved his hand. "Grandma, forget it. Don't call for my aunt. I'll go in and look for her." If it were in the past, Huo Chunhua would definitely not agree. Now that Qin Yuan suggested it, Huo Chunhua did not stop him at all. "All right, go ahead." Huo Chunhua's straightforward attitude made Qin Yuan feel a little unreal. Now he increasingly felt that it was good to be rich. People would only look up to you if you were rich. It was not like when he came to old Zhao's house previously, he only received supercilious looks. Their family Qin was poor at that time, so it was normal for the poor to be bullied and supercilious looks. Zhao Ping'er was a little unhappy. "Grandma, brother Yuan, that's my aunt's room. It's not very good for you to go in, right?" Huo Chunhua glared at Zhao Ping'er. "What's not good about it? Anyway, no one will see. If you don't say it out loud, who will know?" "That's right. Anyway, there's only one family in the courtyard. No one will know." Qin Yuan followed behind Huo Chunhua and replied, "Then brother Yuan, I want to go in too." Zhao Ping'er wanted to follow Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan sternly refused. "Zhao Ping, what are you doing in here? Just sit in the courtyard and wait for me. I have something to tell your aunt. How are we going to talk if you come in?" Although Zhao Ping'er was unhappy, she could only listen to Qin Yuan's instructions and wait in the courtyard. Qin Yuan chose to rush into Zhao Xinhui's room. At this time, Zhao Xinhui was lying on the bed sleeping. She was only wearing a dudu, and her smooth arms were exposed. Zhao Xinhui's skin was much smoother and fairer than Zhao Ping'er's. Qin Yuan caught a glimpse of Zhao Xinhui's beautiful face and couldn't help but gulp. Then he walked over to Zhao Xinhui and sat on Zhao Xinhui's bed. Qin Yuan lowered his body and sniffed Zhao Xinhui's body. He smelled the faint fragrance of a woman. Not only was Zhao Xinhui prettier than Zhao Ping'er, but her body also smelled better than Zhao Ping'er. When Qin Yuan got closer and closer, he couldn't help but touch Zhao Xinhui's skin with his hands. Then he gently pecked Zhao Xinhui's face. Qin Yuan touched his lips and revealed a blissful expression. Qin Yuan's movements woke Zhao Xinhui up. When Zhao Xinhui opened her eyes, she was shocked to see Qin Yuan's face. It's me." Qin Yuan comforted her gently. "Why are you in my room?" Zhao Xinhui was a little puzzled. I finished my business at the restaurant and rushed over to see you." Qin Yuan smiled fawningly and answered. Zhao Xinhui frowned and muttered unhappily, "Now you know to come and see me. I thought you forgot about me. After all, you're rich now and there are many beautiful women around you. Who knows if you'll fall in love with another woman." Chapter 2194. Zhao Xinhui looked at Qin Yuan suspiciously, as if she didn't believe Qin Yuan's words. "Really?" Qin Yuan raised his hand and swore, Of course it's true. How could I lie to you? If it weren't for the fact that the restaurant is too busy and I can't find the time, I really want to see you every day. You don't know how much I miss you after not seeing you for so long. But right now, the restaurant is the most important thing. Only when we earn enough money can we buy a big house in Yang City. When the time comes, we can live a good life in Yang City with you. Now that the restaurant is so busy, you also want to see how much money we earn every day, right?" Zhao Xinhui was silent for a moment. The busier the restaurant was, the better it would be. This was because the busier the restaurant was, the better the business would be, which also meant that they could earn more money. "But you still shouldn't have taken so long to come and see me," Zhao Xinhui muttered. At this moment she no longer had the resentment from before. Instead, it was as if she had been wronged and was acting coquettishly. Qin Yuan coaxed her, I know I was wrong. I also wanted to come and see you earlier. In the future I will definitely find more time to come. When we buy a big house in Yang City, we won't have to go through so much trouble. Alright, I also brought you a gift today. See if you like it." As Qin Yuan spoke, he took out a golden hairpin from his sleeve. I specially bought this for you at Jubao Pavilion. Didn't you say that you like jewelry from Jubao Pavilion? See if you like what I picked for you. Zhao Xinhui took the golden hairpin. The unique and exquisite design was very beautiful. Women would naturally like it when they saw it. Zhao Xinhui didn't expect Qin Yuan to be so thoughtful. He even remembered that she had said that she liked jewelry from Jubao Pavilion. I like it. Zhao Xinhui's face bloomed with a brilliant smile as she said to Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan's heart rippled for a moment. Hui, it's good that you like it. I'm a big man, so I don't know how to pick these pieces of jewelry. I just picked the ones that I think look good. Before I gave it to you, I was worried that you wouldn't like it. If you don't like it, I'll have to give you something else. I like it, of course I like it. How could I not like such a beautiful hairpin? Zhao Xinhui smiled and was in a good mood. By the way, Qin Yuan, Jubao Pavilion's jewelry is very expensive. You must have spent a lot of money on this golden hairpin, right? Zhao Xinhui began to feel sorry for the money. What she needed to do now was not to spend extravagantly, but to save up the money she earned. That way she could buy a big house in Yang City and move in sooner. Otherwise it would be really boring to stay in the countryside where even birds don't shit. It cost me more than 10 taels. It's not that expensive. Qin Yuan replied. Zhao Xinhui pursed his lips. A dozen taels isn't expensive? How many years would it take for an ordinary family to save up a dozen taels of silver? Qin Yuan chuckled. Although a dozen taels of silver is a large sum, I think it's worth it to spend it on you. You're so good, so you should have the best things in the world. When I earn more money in the future, I'll buy all the good things for you. Hearing Qin Yuan's sweet words, Zhao Xinhui's heart also felt sweet. Here, put it on for me. Zhao Xinhui stuffed the hairpin into Qin Yuan's hands. Chapter 2195. How is it? Does it look good? Zhao Xinhui asked shyly. Qin Yuan looked at Zhao Xinhui affectionately and nodded. It looks good. Such a beautiful hairpin should be matched with someone as beautiful as you. The more I look at it, the more beautiful it is. It's worth it no matter how much money I spend. Zhao Xinhui was very happy to be coaxed by Qin Yuan. Then she said to Qin Yuan, when did you learn to be like those men who like to sweet talk so much? I'm not. I'm obviously telling the truth. There's no sweet talk at all. Zhao Xinhui smiled shyly. Then she lowered her head and snuggled into Qin Yuan's arms. She asked in a sweet voice, Qin Yuan, what's so good about me? Why do you like me so much? Now that you're rich, you can find other beautiful women if you want. Why do you still want to be with me? Qin Yuan quickly interrupted Zhao Xinhui. Don't let your imagination run wild. No matter how beautiful other women are, it has nothing to do with me. You're the only woman in my heart. From now on, I'll only treat you well. Zhao Xinhui was touched. When Qin Yuan was poor, he said that he liked her and loved her. He treated her well because he had no other choice. But now that Qin Yuan was rich, he could still maintain this attitude. This meant that she held a very important place in Qin Yuan's heart. Qin Yuan, you're so good. Zhao Xinhui hugged Qin Yuan even tighter. With a beautiful woman in his arms, Zhao Xinhui's body fragrance wafted into Qin Yuan's nostrils. Qin Yuan was a man after all. How could he not have any thoughts when hugging the woman he loved? His throat moved and he swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Then he hugged Zhao Xinhui even tighter. Qin Yuan murmured. What's wrong? Zhao Xinhui asked. Can I have you? Qin Yuan's heart was moved and he blurted out these words. After he finished speaking, he felt that he might have been rude. He was afraid that he would scare Zhao Xinhui, so he stammered nervously, I was just agitated. Please don't blame me. Looking at Qin Yuan's flushed face, Zhao Xinhui couldn't help but burst into laughter. Why would I blame you? You didn't do anything wrong. I was rude. Actually, it's not impossible if you want it, Zhao Xinhui said in a low voice. Ever since Zhao Xinhui parted ways with young Master Huang, it had been a long time since he had experienced such pleasure, so he was looking forward to it. After all, if a woman hadn't done it for a long time, her heart would itch. This was similar to a man. But sometimes a woman's desire may be more terrifying than a man's. She hadn't done it for 2 or 3 months, so it wouldn't hurt to do it with Qin Yuan once. She could satisfy Qin Yuan and feel refreshed at the same time. Qin Yuan looked up in surprise. He looked at Zhao Xinhui and said, really? Is it really okay? Zhao Xinhui nodded heavily and replied, really? You like me so much and we've been together for a long time. It's okay if I give it to you. Qin Yuan couldn't contain his excitement. He thought he had heard wrong, but he didn't expect it to be true. Qin Yuan pinched his face hard and groaned in pain. Chapter 2196. Seeing Qin Yuan's silly behavior, Zhao Xinhui couldn't help but criticize Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan grinned. I want to see if I'm dreaming. Feels like a dream. It's a little unreal. Zhao Xinhui was amused by Qin Yuan and laughed. You fool. Qin Yuan chuckled. I'm just too happy. After laughing, Qin Yuan didn't forget about today's serious business. He hurriedly moved closer to Zhao Xinhui and kissed Zhao Xinhui on the lips. Qin Yuan and Zhao Ping had been together for a long time. Although he had touched Zhao Pinger's body, he had never kissed Zhao Pinger on the lips. If you didn't love someone, you would feel disgusted if you kissed them. However, it was different for Zhao Xinhui. Qin Yuan truly loved this woman in his heart. Kissing Zhao Xinhui on the lips also gave him a very different feeling. Zhao Xinhui's lips were soft, small and had a sweet taste. It made him want to continue kissing her. Just like that, Qin Yuan hugged and kissed Zhao Xinhui for a long time. His body became hotter and hotter. When the conditions were right, Qin Yuan's large hands reached under Zhao Xinhui's doo-doo. Huier. Qin Yuan whispered in Zhao Xinhui's ear. Zhao Xinhui's heart skipped a beat. Then her whole body became hotter and hotter. Qin Yuan, hurry up. Zhao Xinhui couldn't take it anymore and hurriedly urged him. Qin Yuan was also a little impatient. He rubbed his hands and quickly undid Zhao Xinhui's belt. Then he began to take off her other clothes. After taking off Zhao Xinhui's clothes, Qin Yuan couldn't wait to loosen his belt. Qin Yuan, hurry up. Zhao Xinhui didn't feel ashamed and continued to urge. She had already experienced many things and was not the kind of young lady who did not know anything. Even if she was naked in front of Qin Yuan, Zhao Xinhui did not feel embarrassed. After taking off his clothes, Qin Yuan couldn't wait to get on the bed. I'm here. Qin Yuan said excitedly. Qin Yuan lowered his head to look at the woman beneath him. His eyes almost popped out of their sockets. In the past, he had always felt that Zhao Xinhui was far away from him. He had never thought that one day he would be together with Zhao Xinhui. Yet, at this very moment, he was actually able to have such a relationship with Zhao Xinhui and do such an intimate thing. I'm here. Are you ready? Qin Yuan prepared to enter. Zhao Xinhui nodded and replied, Yes. Hurry up. She couldn't hold it in any longer. If Qin Yuan continued to dawdle, she would want to press down on this man's body and have a good time. Fortunately, Qin Yuan didn't dawdle this time. In an instant, the two of them had sex and reached a magical state. It was indescribably comfortable and enjoyable. Qin Yuan only felt that Zhao Xinhui's body wrapped around him was more comfortable than Zhao Ping. Perhaps it was the happiest thing to do with the person you loved. Between him and Zhao Ping, he was just satisfying his physical desires. He didn't have any other thoughts. Are you comfortable? Qin Yuan asked. Yes. Zhao Xinhui replied. Qin Yuan's stamina was obviously much better than young Master Huang's, so Zhao Xinhui enjoyed it very much. Chapter 2197. Zhao Xinhui had never experienced such pleasure before. When Qin Yuan saw Zhao Xinhui's expression of enjoyment, he knew that Zhao Xinhui was indeed very comfortable, so he worked harder on the bed. After a while, Zhao Xinhui's bed creaked loudly. Moreover, the two of them were enjoying themselves. Naturally, they couldn't care less and continued to enjoy themselves. Huier. Qin Yuan called out Zhao Xinhui's name, while Zhao Xinhui moaned in enjoyment. Because the two of them were in a state of oblivion, they didn't realize that their voices were clearly heard by the people outside the room. Of course, this included Zhao Ping'er and Hua Chunhua. Hua Chunhua was open-minded. She knew that Zhao Xinhui would be with Qin Yuan in the future. Whether the two of them had sex earlier or later, they would have to have sex sooner or later. Since it wasn't a big deal, they could let Zhao Xinhui keep Qin Yuan in suspense so that Qin Yuan wouldn't go looking for other pretty girls. Besides, Zhao Xinhui wasn't a pure girl now. Since it wasn't her first time, it naturally didn't matter. However, Zhao Ping'er sat there with a bitter expression. After all, Qin Yuan was the man she loved. How could she be willing to let the man she loved do such things with other women? When Zhao Ping'er heard Zhao Xinhui's licentious moans, she couldn't help but spit on the ground and scold, Shameless, really shameless. Her aunt was a shameless B*TCH who specialized in seducing other men to do such things. Moreover, she moaned more happily than anyone else. It was broad daylight, yet she didn't hide it. She wasn't afraid of being overheard. She didn't know shame at all. Where did such a thick-skinned woman come from? Hearing Zhao Xinhui's screams getting more and more cheerful, Zhao Ping couldn't hold back anymore. She stood up and wanted to walk towards Zhao Xinhui's room. Hua Chunhua saw this and hurriedly pulled Zhao Ping back. She said to Zhao Ping, Ping, where are you going? Didn't you hear anything in the house? Zhao Ping curled her lips and replied with a face full of resentment. I heard it. My aunt is trying to seduce my husband. I'm going over now to stop my aunt from doing such a despicable thing. Hua Chunhua glared at Zhao Ping. What are you talking about? Who seduced your husband? Didn't you see how Qin Yuan was staring at your aunt? He was the one who stuck close to your aunt's butt. How can you say that your aunt seduced him? Zhao Ping snorted coldly. Anyway, it's my aunt's fault. She's shameless to do such a thing with my man. Hua Chunhua couldn't tolerate Zhao Ping talking bad about Zhao Xinhui. She poked Zhao Ping's forehead with her finger and scolded, You wicked girl, if you dare to talk nonsense about your aunt again, I'll punish you. Instead of talking about your aunt, you should talk about your man. You can't control your man's heart. Who can you blame? Now that Qin Yuan is rich, even if your aunt isn't around, there will be other women. Do you think that Qin Yuan is blind enough to fall in love with you? Although Hua Chunhua was telling the truth, Zhao Ping wasn't willing to listen. Okay, go back and sit down. Why did you suddenly barge in? Let's not talk about whether your aunt will be angry or not. When the time comes, the children of Qin Yuan will definitely not forgive you. You'd better behave and don't make people angry, lest they drive your Qin away. I'll see where you can live a good life. Chapter 2198. In the heat of the moment, she didn't think too much. She wanted to stop Zhao Xinhui and Qin Yuan from having fun together, but she didn't consider the consequences of rashly barging in. If she disturbed Qin Yuan's happy occasion, Qin Yuan would definitely reprimand her. If she ignored her in a fit of pique, then it would be over. Although she was unhappy, Zhao Ping couldn't do anything about it. Like a deflated balloon, Zhao Ping sat back down on the stool, feeling wronged. Hearing the happy sounds coming from the room, Zhao Ping felt a wave of irritation in her heart. Sigh. Zhao Ping sighed heavily and touched her face. If she could be as handsome as her aunt, perhaps Qin Yuan would like her instead of having illicit relations with Zhao Xinhui. At this time, Feng Zhangxia returned to the courtyard with Jianghu after they finished their business outside. As soon as they entered the courtyard, they heard the joyous sounds coming from Zhao Xinhui's room. Feng Zhangxia was very shocked. Who was her little sister doing such a shameless thing in the room in broad daylight? When Jianghu heard the sounds, her face immediately turned red with embarrassment. Feng Zhangxia glanced at the horse carriage outside, then looked at Zhao Ping. She guessed that Qin Yuan had come over. At this time, the person doing such a thing in the room with Zhao Xinhui was undoubtedly Qin Yuan. Feng Zhangxia snorted coldly. Little Ju, your aunt still had the nerve to say that before. Now what she did is more embarrassing than anyone else. Why don't you say that you're shameless? It's broad daylight, yet you're shouting so happily. Fortunately, it's our family members who came to the courtyard. If someone else came and heard it, how terrible would that be? At that time, it would affect our old Zhao family's reputation. Because all the girls in our old Zhao family are just like her, shameless and thick-skinned. When Jianghu heard Feng Zhangxia's words, she lowered her head and didn't say anything. She did feel embarrassed. When she thought of what had happened in the room, Jianghu's face turned even redder. Feng Zhangxia glanced at her second daughter-in-law and asked with a smile, Little Ju, are you embarrassed? Jianghu didn't say anything, but she silently agreed. Haha, little girl Ju, you and Qianhu have already consummated your marriage. You're not an inexperienced little girl. What's there to be embarrassed about? Mother? Mother is just telling you that your aunt is shameless. Don't take what she said about you to heart. The most licentious person in our family is your sister-in-law. Feng Zhangxia said and patted Jianghu's shoulder. Jianghu replied shyly. Compared to Zhao Xinhui, Jianghu naturally knew that she was far less daring than Zhao Xinhui. Feng Zhangxia smiled again and sashayed over to Hua Chunhua. With a mocking tone, she said to Hua Chunhua, Mother, didn't you hear the commotion in the room? Why don't you go and talk to little sister? If the villagers hear this, who knows what kind of joke our old Zhao family will become. Hua Chunhua's expression stiffened and she replied unhappily, How can I rush in and talk to her? Woman, it's easy for you to say that. Mother, I'm just reminding you out of kindness. There are many people in our village who talk. If such a shocking thing is known, it'll be terrible. Your little sister's mother, so you have to think for her. After all, little sister's reputation is already bad enough. Chapter 2199. Feng Zhangxia replied with some displeasure, Mother, why are you talking about my Jewer again? No matter what, she's better than little sister, right? All right. Stop being so long-winded. You don't have to worry about this, Hua Chunhua replied impatiently. Feng Zhangxia saw that Hua Chunhua was an unreasonable person. It was useless for her to say anything more, so she simply stopped talking. Anyway, she had already mocked Zhao Xinhui and satisfied her mouth. Mother, that's fine. I won't worry about it. If there are any rumors about little sister in the future, don't blame me for not warning you as your sister-in-law. As Feng Zhangxia spoke, she beckoned Jianghu into the room. The sounds of pleasure could be heard in the courtyard. The people who heard it felt hot and dry, so how could they have the nerve to continue staying there? Naturally, they wanted to hurry into the room so that they wouldn't have to listen to such filthy sounds. The most uncomfortable person in the old Zhao family was Zhao Wenshui. He hadn't touched a woman in a long time, so hearing the sounds in Zhao Xinhui's room in the middle of the day was naturally unbearable. He touched the thing that was beginning to harden below and fiddled with it a few times. It was quite comfortable to fiddle with it himself when he had nothing to do, but after doing it too much, it became dull. It was better to have sex with a woman than to do it himself. It was more enjoyable to have sex with a woman. Unfortunately, he didn't have a woman to have sex with. He didn't even have a wife. Zhao Wenshui touched the thing below and said dispiritedly, forget it. I won't touch it anymore. You should stop too. You can touch it after I marry a wife, okay? However, the thing below didn't listen to him and was getting more and more aroused. The noise outside continued. Zhao Wenshui was annoyed by it, so he simply covered his head with the blanket and buried himself in it. This way he could block out the noise outside. However, the weather hadn't cooled down yet. Zhao Wenshui was covered in sweat while holding the quilt. He had no choice but to take the quilt away and poke his head out. Seriously, there's activity in the middle of the night and in the middle of the day. Are they bullying me because I don't have a wife? Zhao Wenshui grumbled angrily. During the day the sounds came from Zhao Xinhui. At night, Zhao Wenshui had to endure the physical and mental torture when he heard the sounds of Jianghu and Zhao Tianhu. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. Zhao Wenshui sat up on the bed with a bang. No, I can't go on like this. I have to hurry and find Jing'er. Give me some money and let me buy a wife. Zhao Xinhui and Qin Yuan enjoyed themselves for more than half an hour before they finally stopped. At the same time, another carriage stopped outside the courtyard. This time it was Shinpan. Over the past 2 days, Shinpan had returned to her parents' home and stayed there for a few days before returning. Because her family was rich, every time she came back, she would be sent back by a carriage with many good things. Hearing the sounds outside, Jianghu said to Feng Zhangxia, Mother, sister-in-law is back. She must have brought a lot of things back. Let's help her carry them. Yes. Jianghu nodded heavily in response. Then the two of them went out of the room. Seeing Shinpan carrying a lot of things, Feng Zhangxia couldn't stop smiling. Chapter 2200. However, Zhao Yangyang dodged her hand and looked at Feng Zhangxia in disgust. Feng Zhangxia froze and asked in confusion, Yangyang, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? Zhao Yangyang pouted. I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well from head to toe. Feng Zhangxia thought that Zhao Yangyang was sick and looked at him with concern. You're not feeling well from head to toe? What's wrong? Yangyang, let Grandma take a look. Seeing Feng Zhangxia's hand reaching over, Zhao Yangyang pushed her hand away. Don't touch me. Hey, what's wrong with you, child? Grandma is worried about you. Why do you look so unhappy? Feng Zhangxia was a little unhappy. She felt that Zhao Yangyang was acting weird, so she reprimanded him. Zhao Yangyang turned his head away angrily and ignored Feng Zhangxia. Feng Zhangxia looked at Shinpan and asked, Pan, what's wrong with Yangyang? Who made him angry? Shinpan, pursed her lips and replied awkwardly, Mom, Yangyang is fine. He's just a little unhappy. Why is he unhappy? Well? Shinpan didn't know how to explain it, but she replied slowly, Mom, it's nothing. Yangyang just doesn't want to come back to Grandpa and Grandma's place. I insisted on bringing him back, but he kept arguing with me on the way back. He said he didn't want to go home. Feng Zhangxia didn't feel good when she heard that. He was such a young child, yet he knew where to stay. Although Shin Panner's family was a lot better and she was able to eat and drink well every day, Zhao Yangyang's name was still Zhao Yangyang. If she didn't bring him back, he would have to come back anyway. As the saying goes, if a dog doesn't mind being poor, a family member shouldn't mind being poor either. What a heartless grandson. I've always been so nice to him, yet he doesn't want to come back after just a few days at Grandma's place. Doesn't he think about his grandmother? Feng Zhangxia said unhappily. Shin Pan felt even more awkward. She comforted Feng Zhangxia. Mom, Yangyang is just a child. Why are you being so calculative with a child? He doesn't know any better. Feng Zhangxia snorted coldly and blamed everything on Shin Panner. He may be insensible, but don't tell me you're insensible. It's fine if the child is young. Just educate him well. You have to reason with him. Don't let him know how to despise the poor and love the rich at such a young age. Our Tianlong married you not to marry into your Shin family. You have to let the child know which family he should be related to. Seeing Feng Zhangxia vent her anger on her, Shin Panner also felt bad. Mother, what are you saying? Even if a child wants to reason with him, he won't understand. She does eat well, dress well, and sleep well at Grandma's house. Our family can't compare to her, so there's nothing we can do about it, Shin Panner replied. The reason why she was able to marry Zhao Tianlong was because of Zhao Tianlong. In order to be together with Zhao Tianlong, she was willing to lower herself to marry him. However, this did not mean that she would be mistreated by her in-laws. Don't you know old Zhao's family background? How much had she suffered since her marriage? Originally, she was the young miss of a large family. She had never lived a day of hardship in her mother's family. However, after she came to her husband's family, she did not have a single good day. Why didn't Feng Zhangxia think about the good things she had done or the grievances she had suffered? Instead, she blamed her for every little thing. It was only at this moment that Shin Panner realized the difference between her mother and her mother-in-law. Chapter 2201. The more Shin Panner thought about it, the more aggrieved she felt. Ever since Jianghu married over, she felt that her mother-in-law had changed a lot. She no longer treated her as well as before. What if they lived together for the rest of their lives? Not only did she not want to live with the second branch of the family, but she also did not want to live with her parents-in-law. However, Shin Panner knew that Zhao Tianlong was a filial son. It was impossible for Zhao Tianlong to abandon Feng Zhangxia and Zhao Wenshi. She had to think of a way to separate them when the time came. When Feng Zhangxia heard Shin Panner's words, she felt that Shin Panner despised the old Zhao family. She coldly replied, "Haha, mother and son are the same. If you think the Shin family is good, then don't come back. When you come back, I still have to serve you and your son. It's not like I owe anyone anything." Shin Panner's face immediately darkened and became very ugly. Jianghu stood at the side feeling very awkward. She did not know what to say. She did not want the family to quarrel and cause a deadlock. It was also very awkward for her to stay there. Thus she said to Feng Zhangxia, "Mother, don't scold sister-in-law. Yangyang is just a child. There's nothing to be calculative about." She then said to Shin Panner, "Sister-in-law, don't take mother's words to heart. She's just saying it." Shin Panner felt wronged and held back her tears. She did not want to cause any more trouble. After all, Zhao Tianlong's exam day was approaching. The results would be out in a few days. As long as he passed, he would be able to return home in glory. She could endure for a few more days and wait for Zhao Tianlong to return in glory. If she caused any trouble with Feng Zhangxia now, she would inevitably become hostile with Feng Zhangxia. Zhao Tianlong would be stuck in the middle. If Zhao Tianlong resented her because of Feng Zhangxia, it would not be worth it. Feng Zhangxia and Shin Panner did not say much. However, both of them had a grudge in their hearts. Jianghu pursed her lips and said, all right, mother. Let's continue helping sister-in-law move things." Feng Zhangxia replied faintly. She then moved the things in the carriage into Shin Panner's room. Every time Shin Panner came back from her maternal home, she would bring a lot of things that were delicious. Of course, no one else had a share of these things. Every time it was Shin Panner who brought Zhao Yangyang to eat. After everything was moved into Shin Panner's room, Shin Panner took Jianghu's hand and said intimately, "Second sister-in-law, thank you for speaking up for me today." Jianghu smiled and shook her head. "Sister-in-law, it's fine. We're family. You don't have to be so polite with me." Shin Panner couldn't help but be moved. She held Jianghu's hand and continued, "Second sister-in-law in this family, we're about the same age and we both married into old Zhao's family. I can only talk to you. Sister-in-law, we're sisters-in-law. It's only right for us to help each other. In the future, if you have anything on your mind, you can tell me. There's nothing to be embarrassed about between us." "Uh-huh." Shunpan responded as she held onto Jianghu's hand even more intimately. Then she brought some things back from her maternal home to Jianghu. She said to Jianghu, "Second sister-in-law, these are some pastries. Take them and eat with second brother." Jianghu was a little embarrassed to accept it, so she declined. "No need, sister-in-law. You're too polite." Chapter 2202. Sister-in-law. Seeing that Jianghu was about to decline, Shunpan put on a stern face and pretended to be angry. "Second sister-in-law, if you continue to be like this, I'm going to get angry. I'm just giving you something, yet you don't accept it. It means you don't care about me as your sister-in-law." Since Shunpan said this, Jianghu felt embarrassed to refuse again. "All right then, sister-in-law. I'll accept it. Thank you." Shunpan patted Jianghu's shoulder and acted very intimate with her. "It's fine, second sister-in-law. You're welcome. It's just some snacks. Take them back and let second brother have a taste." Jianghu knew that Shunpan was afraid she wouldn't be able to accept it. No matter how cheap these pastries were, country people couldn't afford them. They cost at least a few hundred copper coins. Shunpan pulled Jianghu into the room and chatted for a while before letting Jianghu leave. After chatting for a while, Jianghu felt that her sister-in-law's life in her in-law's house wasn't easy. After all, her sister-in-law was a young miss from a rich family, unlike her who was just a country girl. Shunpan would suffer if she married into the countryside. When she left the room again, the ox cart parked in front of the courtyard had already left. Zhao Ping'er and Qin Yuan had already gone back. At Zhao Yun'er's house, Zhao Yun'er wanted to ask Zhao Tianan what Zhao Ping'er had said to him, but Zhao Tianan didn't want to say. Seeing that Zhao Tianan was determined not to say anything, Zhao Yun'er was too embarrassed to ask. But when she saw Zhao Tianan's expression, she didn't need to think to know that it wasn't anything good. "Tianan, if there's anything you have to tell second sister. Don't keep it to yourself, okay?" Zhao Tianan lowered his head and responded. His mood was a bit bad, so he turned and entered the room. Zhao Yun'er sighed slightly and didn't say anything else. At night, after Tian Tian and Dao Du fell asleep, Zhao Yun'er finally found some time to drag her tired body to bed. In the past few days, because of Zhao Tianan's wedding, she had been very busy, and there were many things to do at home, so she felt very tired. As soon as his head landed on the bed, his eyelids immediately closed and he almost fell asleep. Mu Lianfeng had been waiting for Zhao Yun'er for a long time. As soon as he saw Zhao Yun'er get on the bed, he immediately pressed on her. "Yun'er," he whispered Zhao Yun'er's name, only to find that Zhao Yun'er had already fallen asleep. Mu Lianfeng was at a loss as to what to do with the hard thing below. He didn't know what to do with it. "Yun'er." Mu Lianfeng patted Zhao Yun'er's body and continued to call out to her. Only then did Zhao Yun'er reply in a daze. "What's wrong? Is it dawn? Oh, I want to sleep but I can't get up. Let me sleep for a while." Looking at Zhao Yun'er's tiredness, even if there was a part of his body that urgently wanted to relieve, he resisted. He couldn't bear to do it to her. "It's not dawn yet. Go to sleep," Mu Lianfeng said softly in Zhao Yun'er's ear. After listening to Mu Lianfeng's words, Zhao Yun'er fell asleep within a few seconds. Mu Lianfeng smiled helplessly and lay down beside Zhao Yun'er, wrapping one arm around Zhao Yun'er's waist. Hugging Zhao Yun'er to sleep, there is a kind of unspeakable peace of mind, and also a kind of unspeakable happiness. "Hey Yun'er, I may have to leave in a few days," Mu Lianfeng muttered. Chapter 2203. The Emperor suddenly sent someone over with a letter. The contents of the letter mentioned the situation in the Great Zhou country. Although the Great Zhou country was peaceful, it was only flourishing on the surface. The situation in the court was not good and not all the power was in the Emperor's hands. The small countries on the border kept causing trouble, challenging the authority of the Great Zhou country. Although the Great Zhou country didn't put these small countries in their eyes, they couldn't not deal with them. If the Great Zhou country continued to endure, it would make the court seem weak and these small countries would cause more trouble. What they needed to do now was to control the situation in the court. This could be done slowly by the Emperor. The other point was to send people to intimidate the small countries, making them not cause trouble as they wished. The person sent had to be someone the emperor trusted. If they succeeded in intimidating them, they could promote this person to a position in the court and let the emperor send in more of his trusted aides. The emperor's choice was Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng was not a civil official. He had some achievements in leading troops. He had read various military books and had been carefully taught by his previous great general master. Although he didn't participate in large battles, he did participate in some small battles before. Mu Lianfeng naturally knew that if the emperor wanted to arrange it, he couldn't reject it. Otherwise it would make the emperor angry and cause trouble. He would leave Sun City and head to the border sooner or later. Once he went to take care of the war, he would be separated from Zhao Yun for a while. No one knew how long it would take to lead the troops to war. Could be as short as a few months or as long as a few years. He didn't want to be separated from Zhao Yun for this long. His wife and child were here, he couldn't leave them, but he had no other choice. He had to properly discuss this matter with Zhao Yun but he was afraid that Zhao Yun would be sad when she heard that he was leaving. He hesitated on how to say it, holding it in for several days without saying anything. He planned on properly discussing it with Zhao Yun today, but he never thought that Zhao Yun would already be asleep. Forget it, forget it. If I don't talk about it today, I'll talk about it in the future. I'll let Zhao Yun have a good sleep. It just so happened that he was busy during this period of time, so he could accompany Zhao Yun for a period of time. When he left, presumably old Zhao's family would be more free, and Zhao Yun would not be so tired. Mu Lianfeng's face was pressed against Zhao Yun's back. Smelling the fresh fragrance of Zhao Yun's body, he was very relieved and slowly fell asleep. The next morning, Zhao Yun had to get up and go to Jianghu City to buy some things. In less than 2 days, Zhao Tianan would get married. A lot of things had to be prepared. Otherwise they would be in a mess on that day. This time, Zhao Yun was preparing to go to town to buy some things she needed and inform her fifth uncle, old Zhao's, Zhao Wensheng's family's happy event. Zhao Tianan's wedding was not the marriage of old Zhao's daughter. In order to show respect to Zhao Wensheng, it was necessary to invite Zhao Wensheng back to attend. However, Zhao Wensheng's relationship with Hua Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan was very strained, so he hadn't come back for a while. This time, Zhao Wensheng was invited to attend the third branch's happy event. It had nothing to do with the other old Zhao's family members. Zhao Yun had a good impression of her fifth uncle. If he was like Zhao Wenshui and Zhao Wenshi, she probably wouldn't have specially informed Zhao Tianan's wedding. Chapter 2204. Before she stepped out of the door, she saw Zhao Wenshui running over. It was the first time she had seen Zhao Wenshui get up so early. His second uncle was usually very lazy and would usually sleep very late. Sometimes he would even sleep until the sun was high up in the sky. The sun was so hot that he didn't even get up. It was really rare for him to get up so early in the morning. As soon as Zhao Wenshui saw Zhao Yun, he immediately went over with a smile and called out to Zhao Yun, "Zhao Yun." Zhao Yun asked suspiciously, "Second uncle, why did you come to my house? Why are you here so early in the morning?" Zhao Wenshui chuckled and discussed with Zhao Yun in a flattering tone, "Yun, second uncle has something to trouble you with. I don't know if you are willing to." Zhao Yun refused without hesitation. "Second uncle, don't say any more." "I don't want to." Zhao Wenshui was slightly stunned. He didn't expect Zhao Yun to refuse so straightforwardly. He hadn't said anything yet, so why was Zhao Yun unwilling? "Yun, I haven't said anything yet." Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Yun with an aggrieved face, looking very sad. Zhao Yun was a little speechless. She didn't have to think about it. Zhao Wenshui definitely wouldn't say anything good. In that case, why didn't she let Zhao Wenshui say it? As long as Zhao Wenshui didn't say anything, she didn't have to do it. It would save her a lot of trouble. "Second uncle, then don't say anything. If there's nothing else, I'm leaving." Zhao Yun didn't give Zhao Wenshui a chance to speak and wanted to leave. Zhao Wenshui hurriedly stopped Zhao Yun. "Yun, I really have to trouble you with this matter. Please listen to me." Zhao Yun snappily replied, "I say, second uncle, if you have something to say it quickly. If you have fart, say it quickly. Don't hesitate to say it. It looks like you want to say it but don't say it." Zhao Wenshui secretly cursed Zhao Yun for being vulgar, but he didn't dare to say anything. "Little girl Yun, it's actually not a big deal. I just want to ask if you can send me to the town. I want to find little girl Jing. However, there are only ox carts going to Jianghu City in our village. There are no ox carts going to town. You also know that second uncle's body isn't good. Our Shuilan village is still a long way from the town. If we walk there, your second uncle's body won't be able to bear it. That's why I thought of coming over to ask if you can send me your donkey. After Zhao Wenshui finished speaking, he looked pleadingly at Zhao Yuner, afraid that Zhao Yuner would refuse him. Zhao Yuner frowned. Naturally she was unwilling. However, Zhao Wenshui was lucky this time. She happened to be going to town. Otherwise, it would be impossible for her to personally send Zhao Wenshui over. When Zhao Wenshui saw that Zhao Yuner was silent, he thought that Zhao Yuner wouldn't agree to his request. He hurriedly said, Yuner, please help your second uncle. I really can't walk. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come over to trouble you. Yuner's second uncle knows that you have a good heart. You definitely can't bear to see me walk over personally. Zhao Yuner was very speechless. She beckoned Zhao Wenshui to get on the ox cart. Okay, second uncle, come on up. Zhao Wenshui immediately jumped up happily. Ah, Yuner, you agree? Zhao Yuner replied in annoyance. Second uncle, can you stop talking nonsense and be long-winded? Seeing that Zhao Yuner couldn't be bothered with him, Zhao Wenshui shut his mouth resentfully. Chapter 2205. Zhao Wenshui sat on Zhao Yuner's donkey cart and happily headed towards the town. Zhao Yuner's donkey cart had been modified so it wasn't bumpy. Because there was a soft cushion under the cart, it was very comfortable. Compared to an ox cart, Zhao Yuner's donkey cart was definitely a very comfortable tool for traveling. Although it couldn't be compared to a horse carriage, it was good enough for a country bumpkin. Zhao Wenshui had sat on an ox cart before, and he still remembered how crowded and bumpy it was. This time, sitting on Zhao Yuner's donkey cart, Zhao Wenshui couldn't help but praise. Yuner, alas, your family's donkey cart is really not bad. It's quite comfortable to sit on. In my opinion, it's not worse than those horse carriages. And your family's donkey looks pretty good too. Other donkeys run very slowly, but your family's donkey runs as if it's flying. Not bad, not bad. On one hand, Zhao Wenshui was praising him. On the other hand, he was also trying to flatter him. He thought that Zhao Yuner would be happy to hear it, so he also chatted with Zhao Yuner for a while. Otherwise, it would be really awkward for the two of them to sit opposite each other in the horse carriage. Who knew that Zhao Yuner would reply with disdain? Second uncle, can you sit properly and stop talking nonsense? Don't you find it annoying to be long-winded? Zhao Wenshui felt wronged in his heart. How was he annoying? Couldn't he talk to Zhao Yuner for a while? This wretched lass didn't care about him, an elder, at all. In any case, he was her second uncle, right? How could she treat him like this? Zhao Wenshui didn't dare to scold Zhao Yuner, so he continued to say gently, Yuner lass, there are only the two of us on this road. It's good to talk to each other to relieve the loneliness. Otherwise, won't you be bored if the two of us don't talk? Zhao Yuner pursed her lips and replied to Zhao Wenshui, I'm not bored. Yuner, you're not bored, but I'm bored. Why don't you accompany second uncle for a few words? You see, us uncle and nephew don't usually have a chance to talk much. It just so happens that the road to the town is long. Let's have some fun. After we're done, we'll arrive at the town. Zhao Wenshui laughed mischievously with a sly smile. Zhao Yuner rolled her eyes and scolded Zhao Wenshui unhappily, Second uncle, we can't talk together. Just shut up. I want to be alone. Zhao Wenshui could no longer hold back the anger in his heart as he hooted, I say, Yuner girl, how can you be like this? Your second uncle only said a few words to you. How is that nonsense? How could a junior speak to an elder like that? Is this how your mother taught you? You have no manners at all. If my Jinger was like this, I would have slapped her. Zhao Yuner stared coldly at Zhao Wenshui. Her second uncle was a troublemaker. If she had known this would happen, she wouldn't have brought him along. Afraid that Zhao Wenshui would continue to nag, Zhao Yuner simply threatened, Second uncle, from now on if you dare to say another word, I'll immediately throw you off my donkey cart. You can walk on your own. Zhao Wenshui's face immediately turned green when he heard this. He had to admit that Zhao Yuner's threat scared him this time. There was still a long way to go. If she threw him off now, he probably wouldn't be able to climb to the town. His legs would definitely be crippled. Chapter 2206. When they arrived at the bustling town, Zhao Wenshui then ingratiatingly whispered into Zhao Yuner's ear, Lass Yuner, can you speak now? Zhao Yuner didn't utter a sound. She didn't agree, but she didn't object either. Zhao Wenshui mustered up his courage and said, Lass Yuner, send me back to the Zheng estate first. I'll go find Lass Jinger. After I'm done looking for Lass Jing, you can come pick me up and take me back with you. Zhao Yuner frowned. She disliked Zhao Wenshui for being so nosy. Second uncle, I've already brought you here. Do you still want me to take you back to the village? Judging from Zhao Yun'er's words, she didn't want to take Zhao Wenshui back. Zhao Wenshui was stunned. Then he said with a bitter face, Yun-er, if you don't take me back, who will? Anyway, you've already done your part and brought me to the town. You definitely have to give me a lift when you go back. Zhao Yun'er snorted and said unhappily, but second uncle, that's not what you said before I brought you here. Yun-er, isn't it just an extra trip? It's not a big deal. Why are you so stingy that you don't want to take me back? Zhao Yun'er inwardly scolded Zhao Wenshui for not having any self-awareness. The reason why she didn't want to take him back with her was that her second uncle was too annoying. If it were someone else, she wouldn't have such an attitude. Second uncle, don't push your luck. There are some things that you have to stop before going too far. I don't owe you anything. I brought you here because I wanted to, and I didn't bring you back because I didn't want to. What can you do to me? Zhao Wenshui was instantly dumbfounded. What else could he say in the face of Zhao Yun'er's attitude? He couldn't say anything. Last Yun, it's second uncle's fault. How about this, you take me back? I'll give you 3 copper coins as the cost of today's trip. It would cost 3 copper coins to take an ox cart back and forth. Zhao Yun'er thought that Zhao Wenshui would give a few dozen copper coins. After all, he was basically renting the entire cart. Moreover, the cart was more comfortable than the ox cart, so the price would naturally be higher. The cart. But Zhao Wenshui actually only 3 copper coins. She wasn't arguing with Zhao Wenshui because she felt that the money was too little. She just felt that it was a matter of attitude. She's answers SSSS. I'll send you to cousin Jing'er's place. I still have other things to do. You can rent your own cart when you go back. You don't have to trouble me at all. Zhao Wenshui glanced at Zhao Yun'er's ugly expression. He wanted to say something, but Zhao Yun'er glared at him. He was so scared that he quickly shut his mouth. When they arrived at the Chen family, Zhao Yun'er left Zhao Wenshui behind. She turned around and went to the market to buy some things. After buying the things, Zhao Yun'er drove the ox cart to her fifth uncle Zhao Wenxing's residence. It wasn't easy for her to come here, so Zhao Yun'er bought some things. She brought some supplements such as red dates and cinnamon. She also brought some candies. Zhao Yun'er knew that her fifth uncle had many children at home. The children liked to eat candies. This was purely to satisfy the children. Zhao Yun'er still remembered the way, so she quickly found her fifth uncle's house. During this period of time, Zhao Wenxing didn't go back, but he was very used to living here. Zhao Yun'er heard the children playing in the courtyard from afar. They were very happy. Chapter 2207. However, when his fifth uncle saw it, he rushed out of the house in a hurry and went to Jin Suizhuan, snatching the things in her hands. I'll do it. Just leave these things to me. I've already told you many times that you don't have to be so busy. Your health is more important now. Why are you so disobedient? Zhao Wenxing looked concerned and nervous. Jin Suizhuan smiled and shook her head. It's okay. Don't be too nervous. It's just a little work. I can do it. It's not like before. You're pregnant. What if you affect the baby by doing this and that? Just leave all the big and small things in the house to me and let me do it. You can't do it. Jin Suizhuan looked at Zhao Wenxing's overly nervous appearance and found it funny. At the same time, she felt warm in her heart. The more nervous Zhao Wenxing was, the more he cared about her. It was rare for a man to be like this. Her previous men didn't care about her so much. None of the women she knew had men like Zhao Wenxing. After all, the status of women in this era was very low. Even if they were pregnant with a big belly, as long as the man didn't care, the woman still had to work in the fields. When she was pregnant with her previous children, which one of them didn't have to work before giving birth? Now that she was less than 2 months pregnant, Zhao Wenxing didn't let her do this and that. He was too nervous and precious. A sweet and happy smile appeared on Jin Suizhuan's lips. She replied to Zhao Wenxing, it's okay. These small things won't affect the baby. I used to be able to carry a big belly and do heavier work without any problems. After being pregnant, I can't sit for a long time. It's not good for the baby in the belly. Moreover, it's more difficult to give birth. I can move my muscles by doing small things. It's good for the baby and me. However, Zhao Wenxing said stubbornly, that won't do. The past is the past. This is the present. If I tell you not to do these work, you can't do it. If you feel that you can't sit for a long time, then walk in the yard. Anyway, you can't do these work. As Zhao Wenxing spoke, he had already taken the work from Jin Suizhuan. Seeing Zhao Wenxing like this, Jin Suizhuan's face was full of helplessness, but she could only let Zhao Wenxing do it. Since marrying Zhao Wenxing, Jin Suizhuan had experienced a kind of happiness that she had never experienced before. She had suffered for so long with a child alone. She didn't expect that she would meet a man who was so considerate and loved her. Now it seemed that Zhao Wenxing was the happiness that the heavens. Jin Suizhuan couldn't dissuade Zhao Wenxing, so she could only watch Zhao Wenxing work while she stood aside. The children at home were still running around in the yard. Zhao Wenxing was afraid that these children would accidentally hurt Jin Suizhuan. Big girl, run slower. Don't accidentally bump into your mother. Your mother is pregnant with a little brother. Zhao Wenxing warned. The girl nodded sensibly. Yes, Daddy, I know. I'll be careful. I won't touch my mother. Be it because Zhao. With regards to Zhao Wenxing, this daddy, the big girl accepted him very easily. Of course, she treated Zhang Wenxing as her own father and listened to Zhao Wenxing's words. Chapter 2208. The girl grinned. The smile on the 3-year-old child's face was very pure, similar to Daodu's smile. Zhao Yun'er looked from afar and her mood brightened. A smile hung on the corner of her mouth. Jin Suizhuan patted the girl's head and said to her, "Girl, take your friends to other places to play. This courtyard is a bit small, so it's not convenient to run around." The girl nodded heavily. "Okay, mother." Just as the girl was about to leave the courtyard, she saw Zhao Yun'er sitting on the donkey cart outside the courtyard. Because she had seen Zhao Yun'er before, the little girl's memory was very good. She actually remembered her. "Aunt Yun, you're here?" The girl sweetly called out. Zhao Yun'er also smiled and got down from the donkey cart, carrying something in her hand. Zhao Wenhua and Jin Suizhuan only then noticed Zhao Yun'er's arrival. Zhao Wenxing was a bit surprised because he hadn't interacted with old Zhao's family for a long time. He didn't expect Zhao Yun'er to suddenly come over without greeting him. "Yun'er girl, why are you here?" Zhao Wenxing greeted and asked curiously. Zhao Yun'er smiled. "What's wrong, fifth uncle? Can't I come over to see you?" Zhao Wenxing hurriedly waved his hand. "Of course you can. Fifth uncle is just a bit excited to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Quickly come in and sit. Don't stand in the courtyard." As he spoke, Zhao Wenxing welcomed Zhao Yun'er into the house. Jin Suizhuan was also very polite behind Zhao Wenxing. She said to Zhao Yun'er, "Yes, quickly come in and sit. I'll get you a cup of water. It's so early in the morning and the water hasn't been filled." Jin Suizhuan hurriedly walked into the kitchen. Zhao Yun'er said, "Fifth aunt, there's no need to trouble yourself. I'm not thirsty. You don't have to trouble yourself." Just listening to the conversation between Zhao Yun'er and Jin Suizhuan, Zhao Yun'er knew that Jin Suizhuan was pregnant. Although it was inconvenient for this pregnant woman to move around, she wouldn't stay for long anyway. Naturally, there was no need for Jin Suizhuan to specially pour a glass of water for her. Jin Suizhuan insisted, Yes, it's not troublesome for me to get a pot of water. It was already boiling when I was cooking this morning. Now I just have to go and pack it up." Zhao Wenxing said from the side, "Yun'er, just let her go." Zhao Yun'er just let Jin Suizhuan go. When they entered the house, Zhao Yun'er put down the things in her hands and said to Zhao Wenxing, "Fifth uncle, it's not easy for you to come here. These are some supplements I bought for fifth aunt. She can eat them to nourish her body." When Zhao Wenxing saw the good things on the table, he naturally felt embarrassed to accept them. Yun'er, you're really too much. These things are very expensive. Why did you bring so many of them over all of a sudden? You'd better take them back. Then, you or your mother can eat them to nourish their bodies. Your fifth aunt doesn't need them. While Zhao Wenxing was speaking, Jin Suizhuan had already come in with a kettle. When she saw the good things on the table, she hurriedly said, "Yes, these things are too expensive. Yun'er, your fifth uncle and I appreciate your kindness. We can't accept these things. You'd better take them back." Zhao Yun'er's face was stiff, and she seemed a little unhappy. "Fifth uncle, fifth aunt, I specially bought these things for you. How can we not accept them? Don't talk about how expensive they are. We're a family. How can we be so calculative?" Chapter 2209. But this is really too expensive. Jin Suizhuan looked conflicted. If it was really cheap, she might accept it. If it was really too expensive, she always felt that she was taking advantage of others. She had always been a person who didn't like to take advantage of others. Zhao Yuner insisted, "Okay, fifth uncle, fifth aunt, you really don't have to be polite with me. I only come here once in a few hundred years, and I don't bring you these every time I come. Fifth uncle used to treat me well. As a junior, I should be filial to you, right?" Zhao Yuner looked at the conflicted faces of the two and felt a little helpless. If these good things were sent to the first and second branch, she probably didn't have to say anything. The two of them would happily accept it. However, when it came to Zhao Wenxing, the husband and wife didn't like to take advantage of others. They would refuse to accept even the slightest good thing. "Fifth uncle, it's okay if you don't eat these things, but if you give them to fifth aunt to eat, it's really good for her health. I think fifth aunt's complexion doesn't look very good, so she needs to eat more longan and red dates to replenish her complexion." Zhao Wenxing was a little moved when he heard this. Indeed, as Zhao Yuna said, it was okay if he didn't eat it himself. Now that Jin Suizhuan was pregnant, she needed to nourish her body. He didn't earn much money himself. Most of the time, the monthly allowance given by the academy was used to buy books. Of course, this was under Jin Suizhuan's insistence and support. After buying those books, his life naturally became a lot more difficult. Basically, he couldn't take out the money to buy those good things for Jin Suizhuan to nourish her body. After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Zhao Wenxing glanced at Jin Suizhuan's complexion. It was good to nourish her body. If he continued to refuse, Jin Suizhuan would only be the one who suffered. Zhao Wenxing looked at Zhao Yuner and nodded in response. "Okay, Yuner, fifth uncle will accept these things. You're too filial. Fifth uncle will remember your kindness in the future." Zhao Yuner smiled slightly. "Fifth uncle, you're an elder, so it's right." Jin Suizhuan was a little embarrassed as she tugged at Zhao Wenxing's clothes, indicating that Zhao Wenxing shouldn't say it. Zhao Wenxing winked at Jin Suizhuan and whispered something in her ear. "Since it's Yuner's filial piety, let's accept it, lest we let her down. Later you can take these things and stew them to nourish your body. Sai, now that you're pregnant, you have to take good care of yourself. You can't suffer and you can't let the child in your belly suffer." When Jin Suizhuan saw the concern and affection in Zhao Wenxing's eyes, she felt a sense of happiness. This time she obeyed Zhao Wenxing's arrangement and accepted Zhao Yuner's gift. When the girl saw that there were guests, she was very happy. Zhao Yuner took out the candies and handed them to the girl. She said to the girl, "Come, big girl, this is what Aunt Yun specially brought for you. I didn't forget, big girl." When the girl saw the candies in Zhao Yuner's hands, her eyes lit up. It could be seen that the girl was very excited and happy. However, the girl was a very sensible child. Usually she wouldn't go in to take things that others gave her, even if it was something she liked. She would first get Jin Suizhuan's consent. Only when Jin Suizhuan nodded, would she reach out to take it. Chapter 22:10. Zhao Yuner was afraid that Jin Suizhuan wouldn't let the girl eat it, so she said, "Fifth aunt, it's just a little candy. It's not worth much. Let the girl eat it." Jin Suizhuan looked at the girl's greedy expression and felt a little heartache. Coupled with Zhao Yuner's words, she nodded at the girl. Seeing that Jin Suizhuan agreed, the girl shyly took the candy from Zhao Yuner's hand. Jin Suizhuan patted the girl's head and said, "Hurry up and say thank you." The girl's mouth revealed a sweet smile. Her smile was like the morning sun in spring, very infectious. "Aunt Yun, thank you." It could be seen that the girl was well educated by Jin Suizhuan. Children who were a few years old basically relied on their parents to educate them. Children who were well educated by their parents would be good. If their parents didn't teach them well, those naughty children would appear. Just like old Zhao's second branch. Her cousin Zhao Tianyu had been doted on by Li Chuiying and influenced by Zhao Wenshui's behavior. He became arrogant and domineering. He didn't listen to reason at all and was a complete naughty child. This kind of child liked to stir up trouble, and no one liked her no matter where she went. Unlike the girl who was so polite and sensible that everyone loved her. Even if they wanted to hate her, they couldn't. Zhao Yuner shook her head and smiled as she replied, "You're welcome." The girl had already happily opened the candy wrapper and stuffed it into her mouth. The sweet taste overflowed her mouth and filled her entire heart. Sure enough, the less a child got, the easier it was to be satisfied. Just like a long time ago, Dowda was also very excited when he saw candy. Now that he had eaten a lot of candy, he naturally didn't care much about it. Zhao Yuna looked at Zhao Wenxing and Jin Suizhuan and asked with concern, "I just heard from fifth uncle that fifth aunt is pregnant?" Zhao Wenxing's face instantly turned red. He replied to Zhao Yuna a little embarrassedly, "Yes, she's pregnant." Your fifth aunt is now 2 months pregnant. Jean Suizhuan also seemed a little embarrassed. She stood beside Zhao Wenxing with her head lowered. Zhao Wenxing was shy and excited to be a father for the first time. Although Jean Suizhuan had given birth before, this was her and Zhao Wenxing's child. The meaning was very different. Both of them cherished the child in their stomach very much, just as they cherished this happiness. This child was the fruit of their love, and his arrival meant that their love had borne fruit. Zhao Yuner smiled and said, "Then I really have to congratulate fifth uncle and fifth aunt. Time really flies. In the blink of an eye, even fifth aunt is pregnant. If my parents heard about it, they would definitely be happy." Speaking old Zhao's old's family's situation. He didn't know the family'd have a families. Yes, it wasn't that he didn't want to go back, but for Jean Suizhuan, he had no choice but to not go back. Based on his understanding of Huachenhua, bringing Jean Suizhuan back to old Zhao's family would only make Jean Suizhuan feel wronged. Even if Jean Suizhuan was pregnant and their family's fifth branch had an heir, Zhao Wenxing never brought this news back. Yuner, your father, your mother, your grandparents, uncles and aunts, are they all okay? Zhao Wenxing knew that Zhao Wenxing was still concerned about old Zhao's family situation, so he said with a smile, "They're all fine. A lot of things have happened during this time." Chapter 22:11. For example, Zhao Ping'er, Zhao Jing'er, and Zhao Xinhui were all married. Although Zhao Xinhui was divorced later on, she was still married after all. Of course, there was also Zhao Tianhu's marriage and Zhao Wenshui's and Li Chuanying's divorce. Zhao Wenxing couldn't help but sigh when he heard that. It turned out that so many big things had happened in old Zhao's family in just a few months. If he hadn't heard Zhao Yuner's words, he really wouldn't have imagined it. After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, Zhao Wenxing couldn't help but sigh. It's only been a few months, but it feels like things have changed. Zhao Yuner chuckled, "Yes, a lot of things have happened during this period of time. But fifth uncle, if you have time, it's okay to go back and take a look. At most, you can just ignore what my grandfather and grandmother say." Zhao Wenxing nodded. "Okay, fifth uncle, if you have time, go back and take a look." If he didn't go back, he felt that home was no longer home. The place he had stayed for many years had become strangely unfamiliar. Do you have anything else to do this time?" Zhao Yuner nodded. "My brother Tianan is going to get married. This time I specially came to fifth uncle's place to tell fifth uncle. When Tianan gets married, if you and fifth aunt have time, you can go and attend." Zhao Wenxing heard that Zhao Tianan was getting married. Although Zhao Tianan was still young, he didn't expect it to be so soon. Okay. Fifth uncle definitely won't miss Tianan's wedding. What day is it? Tell me and I'll bring your fifth aunt over." It was just right that he used this as an excuse to go back to his hometown. He only hoped that his parents wouldn't say anything for the sake of the child in Jean Suizhuan's belly. After all, he and Jean Suizhuan were already living together. It was completely meaningless to be picky. Zhao Yuner told him the date, which was a few days later. Zhao Wenxing also agreed to go. Zhao Yuner chatted with the fifth branch for a while but did not stay for long. Instead she got up. As for Zhao Wenshui, Zhao Yuner didn't want to pay attention to him. That second uncle of hers was really annoying. If she brought him back, it would only add to her troubles. She might as well let Zhao Wenshui fend for himself. Zhao Yuner drove Xiaomao back to the village leisurely, but they still had to pass by the Zheng family's courtyard on the way back. When Zhao Yuner passed by, she saw Zhao Wenshui being thrown out. The person who threw Zhao Wenshui was a servant of the Zheng family. Zhao Yuner was stunned. Didn't Zhao Wenshui go to find Zhao Jing? After all, Zhao Wenshui was Zhao Jing's father. How could he be thrown out so casually? The way the Zheng family treated Zhao Wenshui obviously showed that they didn't take Zhao Jing seriously. At that time, young Master Zheng accompanied Zhao Jing back to her parents' home. It seemed that he treated Zhao Jing well, but now it was obvious that he was just doing it to save face. In fact, Zhao Jing was just a concubine, a tool to give birth to a child. Her status in the Zheng family wasn't high. She was just a country girl. The Zheng family didn't take her seriously at all. However, Zhao Yuner was curious about what Zhao Wenshui had done to be thrown out by the Zheng family. It should be something that angered the Zheng family. Otherwise they wouldn't be so extreme. With Zhao Yuner's understanding of Zhao Wenshui, this second uncle of hers was indeed capable of doing anything. Chapter 22:12. If she hadn't brought him along, none of this would have happened. After Zhao Wenshui was thrown out, young Master Zheng also walked out of the Zheng family's mansion and said to Zhao Wenshui, who was on the ground, in a low voice, "Although you are my father-in-law, I will respect you for Jing'er's sake. However, I won't allow you to fool around and take whatever you want from the Zheng family. When you married Jing'er, the Zheng family already gave you enough money as a wedding gift. Now you continue to make a fuss about money. Do you take us for fools? No matter how rich the Zheng family is, we won't give it away for free." Zhao Wenshui was sprawled on the ground. He had been thrown quite badly by the Zheng family's servants. His body was already injured, so how could he withstand such torment? Now that he was about to be thrown to the ground, he grimaced in pain and couldn't get up. Zhao Yun'er stopped and watched quietly from a distance. The commotion caused by the Zheng family also attracted passers-by to stop and watch the show. Zhao Wenshui groaned on the ground. When he saw people coming over, Zhao Wenshui immediately pretended to be pitiful and cried, "Help, help! Everyone help me! I'm about to be beaten to death by my son-in-law. Everyone look, whose son-in-law would beat up his father-in-law like this? Isn't the Zheng family just rich? Everyone look at this. Is this human nature?" Zhao Wenshui had become smarter. He knew that if he said this in front of everyone, the Zheng family wouldn't dare to do anything to him in order to save face. After hearing Zhao Wenshui's words, the onlookers started chattering. "Aya, what's going on? What happened? This person says that he's young Master Zheng's father-in-law, but he's acting like this. Is the Zheng family really going to marry such a person? I don't think so. How can they have such a father-in-law when they're well matched in terms of social status? I don't think so either. This person is just making things up, right?" Hearing these people's discussion, Zhao Wenshui hurriedly said, "Everyone, this is really my son-in-law. I'm not lying. If you don't believe me, ask him." Young Master Zheng's face darkened. He glanced at Zhao Wenshui and became even angrier at Zhao Wenshui. It seemed like he was being too polite by throwing him out of the Zheng clan's residence. This kind of person should be beaten up and taught a good lesson. It was then that Zhao Jing'er rushed out. Seeing Zhao Wenshui on the ground, her heart ached. But when she thought about what Zhao Wenshui had done to her, Zhao Jing'er blamed Zhao Wenshui. She had already rejected Zhao Wenshui's offer of money, but who knew that he would directly come to the Zheng family and ask for 100 taels of silver. When she married into the Zheng family, she didn't receive a lot of money every month. It wasn't even 100 taels of silver. After she rejected his offer, Zhao Wenshui thought that she was doing it on purpose and went to look for young Master Zheng. When young Master Zheng expressed his rejection, Zhao Wenshui was very angry. He felt that as his father-in-law, he only came to ask young Master Zheng for 100 taels of silver. The Zheng family was so rich, but they refused to give it to him. Zhao Wenshui made a scene at the Zheng residence, saying that if the Zheng family didn't give him the money, he wouldn't go back and would continue to stay at the Zheng residence. This behavior annoyed and angered the Zheng family, and she was also scolded by the Zheng family. Chapter 22:13. If she really ended up like that one day, it would be her father's fault. Thinking about it, her father was really too much. Not only did he force her mother away, but now he was making trouble for her. He was someone who didn't want to live a good life. Why was it that other people's fathers were quite good, but she had such a father? Putting away the anger in her heart, Zhao Jing'er looked at Zhao Wenshui with some resentment. Zhao Wenshui also saw Zhao Jing'er, so he reached out to greet her. "Jing'er, do you pity your father? Look at what your man has done to your father." Zhao Jing'er looked at Zhao Wenshui, then looked at the gloomy young Master Zheng. Taking a deep breath, she said coldly to Zhao Wenshui, "Father, don't make trouble here. Today you came here and asked for 100 taels of silver. I really can't give it to you. Also, I'm just a concubine of the Zheng family. The Zheng family was very considerate to me back then and gave me a lot of betrothal gifts. How can you ask for so much money from them now? It's not easy for anyone these days. Even if you have money, you can't afford to waste it. Aren't you no different from a scoundrel today?" Zhao Jing'er said with a frown. "Jing'er, how can you talk about your father like that? You've only been married for a few days and you've already forgotten your real father?" Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Jing'er angrily. He originally thought that his daughter would feel sorry for him, but now not only did his daughter ignore him, she even spoke up for her in-laws. He was the one who was beaten. Now his bones were broken and he couldn't even get up. The more Zhao Wenshui thought about it, the sadder he felt. All the grievances he had suffered these days suddenly exploded. Zhao Jing'er also felt very wronged. Her eyes were red as she said, "Father, I'm on the side of reason, not family. Don't pester endlessly. Unless you don't want your daughter to live a good life." Young Master Zheng's face was sullen. For the Zheng family's reputation, he clarified in front of so many people. "Our Zheng clan will treat father-in-law with respect, but we won't be polite to a scoundrel. When I married Jing'er as my concubine, I gave her enough betrothal gifts. It can be said that the Zheng family spends more money on a concubine than other families. Now that you're asking for money from the Zheng family, it's our duty to give it to you. But you keep talking about 100 taels of silver. Forgive us, Zheng family, for not doing charity. If you don't keep thinking about causing trouble, the servants of the Zheng family are not raised for nothing." After the onlookers heard these words, they more or less understood what had happened. It turned out that it was just a concubine's biological father who came to ask for money, asking for 100 taels. It was no wonder that the Zheng family would be angry. The onlookers criticized Zhao Wenshui for his shameless behavior. "Isn't marrying your daughter off to be a concubine the same as selling your daughter off? They've already given you a betrothal gift. How can this person have the nerve to come and ask for money? He's so thick-skinned to ask for 100 taels of silver. This 100 taels of silver is enough to buy a few girls. Isn't that so? Even if the Zheng family is rich, they won't be able to withstand such torment. They gave him 100 taels of silver this time. Who knows, he might come again next time. You can't be too accommodating for thick-skinned people. The more accommodating you are, the more unscrupulous they will be. Sai, what kind of person is this? Young Master Zheng is right. They give it to you out of kindness, but it's our duty not to give it. Since he said he won't give it, then he can't cause trouble in the Zheng family? You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.